All right. What is up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Took me a second, but I got the date there. Happy Tuesday. Guys, I need some live feedback out of the chat. We're working with a new setup here today. We're experimenting. We're trying some new things to bring you guys a better show. So if the audio is bad, tell me. If the graphics are bad, tell me. If you can't see anything, tell me. If the stock picks are bad, don't tell me. Just let me keep believing in myself. But that is our deal today, guys. And let's throw the quick audio check out there. Audio level is good. Give me the 1. Audio level is bad. Give me the 2 in the chat. And then I'm also gonna test out some sound effects. I want to see if you can hear those. Okay, all right. Sound good, look good. All right, there we go. We got some ones flowing. We are live, baby. This is no Don Lemon hack performance. This is it. This is the Power Hour. That's why we're here. That's why we're at it. First air horn of the day. There it is. All right, guys, let me run you through the agenda. So we're going to just hit some stocks right away today. We're going to talk GME, PayPal, Ford, and Nokia. We're then bringing on a very special guest to talk about the silver market. Peter Schiff is going to be joining us at 12:25. 12:45, we're going to Andrew Horowitz, disciplined investor. And then we have a third guest. Yes, 3 guests in one day coming on at 1. All of these times are in Eastern, 1 ET. The sound effects are effed. Dang it. All right. Well, maybe Rohan can work on that for us. I mean, how bad are they? If they're really bad, tell me. If somebody's saying to put the glasses on, okay, maybe we'll get that going. But all right, we'll work on the sound effects. And without further ado, guys, let me put my screen up here, get this on the stream, and let's talk about some stocks. First up on everybody's list, and I'm just jumping right to it before I get bombarded with tickers. Of course, we're going to look at GameStop. So GameStop, not stock. So some news out today. We've got Robinhood raising the trading limit. I believe to up to 100 shares, which I imagine for most of that crowd is pretty much done, or pretty much as much as they need. I don't know. Maybe they're throwing out bigger orders than that. But we're up to 100 shares now. It's a $10,000 order with the stock at $115. We have gotten some halts in today too. I know at least one, maybe more than one halt. It seems like on these days where we've got halts. They just keep coming. They don't stop coming. So I don't know. I mean, there's the chart on GameStop. Of course, it's ugly. The reason why I wanted to bring this one up is because I want to throw it out to the crowd. I want to get some opinions, some thoughts going, guys. If you like GameStop, you're long the stock. You have high hopes. Throw me the 1. If not, throw me the 2. I'm curious where everybody is at with this one. I mean, the chart's ugly. But let's see what happens. We're at about the time of the day where this thing just seems to go sideways for the rest of the trading session. And then we get some more activity flowing into the close of trading. And let's talk through a couple other names or a couple other tickers that we have here. Up on the screen, I have our live portfolio, right? This is my live interactive brokers account. This is the portfolio that we look at every single day. Oh, my God, you guys. You turn from lovers to haters. I mean, what the hell happened over the course of 2 days? I mean, it used to be all 1s. Now it's all 2s. So we'll see there. And somebody's asking, what about the chat challenge? Yes, we're going to wrap the show up with a chat challenge. Again, that's Zinger Nation. That's all of you out there in the chat going head to head, trying to figure out who is the best stock picker, who in the chat should we be listening to. So before we close the day out, we will be hitting our chat challenge. And the question of the week this week, what price is GME going to end at? We had a big array of prices. Stock's at 115 right now. And so we'll be doing an update on that. But again, live portfolio up on the screen due to brokerage outages that were happening all week last week. It's been a little bit since I've pulled it up. So while I'm talking, I'm just sort of going to scroll through the positions right now. So that way you guys can get a sense of what I'm holding. I have added a few things. I have sold a few things. Again, we try to do all the trades on the show live. But again, we were having some outages and have had a hard time doing that for the past couple of days. But today we're good. We are good today, and everything is functioning. Two heads up that I'll give if anybody is in PayPal and Ford with me. We do have PayPal earnings coming out Wednesday, Ford earnings coming out Thursday. For what I'm going to be looking out for from PayPal is anything crypto related, right? That we had the crypto boom, all these crypto stocks, your Riots, your Maros, etc. When running. PayPal did not get the same sort of lift. So I'm curious if they're going to be reporting on anything there or talking about any sort of money or assets that they made from this recent crypto run. And then Ford, Ford is our 2021 stock. We are in that one for a while. So again, we want to just get an idea of sales. The reason why we like Ford is because the EV platform rolling out. We've seen all the energy and momentum go into these EV stocks. So there's the deal with Ford. Maybe we'll get some electric Mustangs. Other stocks to look at. There we go. We got some Ford love there. Let's look at one more, which is Nokia. I'm going to go ahead and pull that chart up on the screen here. Ticker NOK, November Oscar Kilo. And let me zoom out. All right. So here's our 1 month chart on Nokia. This is a funky looking chart, right? We went from, I don't know, what is this? $2 maybe? Nope, $4. Went from 4 to 10 to 4 basically is where we're at in Nokia. Of all these stocks that have had these wild moves, Nokia is going to be the first one to report earnings here for us. They have a report on Thursday. So they're basically going to be the ones who are setting the precedent for all these other stocks, right? Are they choosing to talk about some of this price action? Are they choosing to talk about the new buyers? How are they going to address this if they address it at all? It'll be really interesting to watch. Again, conference call for Nokia Thursday. And guys, let's talk a little bit of silver. I want to get us moved over to our first guest of the day. Maybe I can be like a guest one day and Jason will bring me in. But let's move us over to our first guest of the day. I'm going to bring him onto the stream. My sound effects are not working great today, so I don't get to give him the nice drum roll. I don't give him the round. Oh, I got a thumb from producer Rohan that the sound effects are working. I'm going to try the drum roll. Let's see. Oh, there we go. That's better. There we go. And we've got a very special guest, Peter Schiff, on the Power Hour with us live today. Peter, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for taking the time. It's an honor to have you here.
All right. Well, glad to be here.
There we go. Diving into things, I wanted to talk about the silver market a little bit. Obviously, it's a place where you're an expert. You know this market inside and out. For a lot of us other folks out there, it's sort of like, yeah, silver was something that existed, and then this week we paid a ton of attention to it, tried to figure out what's going on. So I'd love to just hear, we saw this big crazy price jump. What was that the Reddit crowd doing it? Can they move that big of a market? In any overview as to what exactly has been happening is helpful.
Well, certainly there were some, posts that went up on that platform, Wall Street Bets or somewhere on Reddit about trying to squeeze the shorts in silver. And, they're there, but it's a whole different animal from the GameStop shorts. And I said that in the beginning. In fact, when the whole short squeeze started in a lot of these stocks, I titled one of my podcasts middle of last week's "The Mother of All Short Squeezes Is Yet to Come." And when I did that, I wasn't envisioning that the short squeeze would be led by, the individual investors on Reddit. I thought it would be a bigger thing. But I think somebody up there started, talking about the big short in silver and how much paper silver has been shorted on the COMEX relative to the actual physical supply. And maybe there were some people who thought that they could replicate what happened with GameStop and some of these other stocks. And I don't know if they actually thought that, or maybe other people tried to create that narrative to run the silver price up over the last couple of days. Obviously, there were some people that took advantage of the spike and sold into it yesterday. maybe earlier today, and that's why the market dumped back down and basically lost everything that it gained yesterday. So the market's been whipsawing, and people have taken advantage of it, just like a lot of people took advantage of that short squeeze and took an opportunity to unload shares of GameStop or AMC or any of these other stocks, and people were writing call options and taking in some crazy premiums that people were paying because they envisioned that these stocks were going to keep going up. But at the end of the day, regardless of the noise over the last couple of days, silver remains an excellent buying opportunity, unlike GameStop and AMC or whatever that are just accidents waiting to happen. Silver is actually cheap. And so I think anybody who ended up buying into silver in the last couple of days, even if you ended up buying into that spike yesterday, you just, you didn't use a limit, you just went in and bought the open and, you got taken advantage of. I think in 6 months, these prices are going to look much better. And to the extent that people didn't buy everything that they were planning on buying when they bought yesterday, take advantage of today's dip and average yourself into a better price.
Yep. And regardless of this price action that's going on, you're bullish on the silver market, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm bullish on silver the same way I'm also bullish on a lot of other commodities, particularly the industrial metals like copper, like nickel. A lot of people want to buy into Tesla because they make electric cars. Well, they're not the only one that makes them. And to the extent that the public wants more electric cars and they're going to be produced, well, more of these metals are going to be needed. And the supplies are just really not there. So I'm bullish on commodities in general, some of these industrial metals in particular. But I'm also bullish on silver for its monetary properties as being a store of value in an inflationary time period. Because what makes silver an excellent store of value is that there will be demand for silver as a metal in the future. So if you're worried about currency losing value and you don't want to hold dollars or euros or yen because commodity prices are going to go up a lot in the future in terms of those currencies, well, then you can hold silver. Gold obviously is the king of monetary metals, but when people are looking for real money and they're buying gold as an alternative to fiat currency, they always end up buying silver as well, because silver has circulated as money for a long time too. I mean, not to the extent that gold has, in that there's not as much value concentrated in as small a space, but that does lend silver to be a better medium of exchange when it comes to smaller transactions. Obviously, in America, the smallest transactions were affected in nickel or copper, right? Pennies were made of copper.
Yep.
But dimes and quarters, they were made of silver, and a lot of people would, transact pretty heavily in silver. So when you're losing confidence in, funny money and fiat currency, and you're looking for real money, you don't want to ignore silver.
Yeah. And is this like specifically a commentary on sort of the money printing and all the stimulus that we've done as it relates to, COVID relief and that sort of thing? Have you held this view for a while, and COVID's been a part of that story? Any insight there is helpful.
Well, the COVID and the deficit spending that resulted specifically from the COVID response, all the stimulus and all the bailouts, this simply accelerated the process. They just pushed the printing pedal to the metal, but they were already stepping on the accelerator. So it's not like there wasn't inflation before COVID. It's just that now they're inflating even faster. And now that, of course, the Democrats have the White House, they have Congress, as big as the deficits were under Trump, and they were record highs under Trump, they're just going to be that much larger under Biden. And what we're not going to have with Biden is the same type of pushback that we had under Obama, when you had the Tea Party really steering, the Republican Party and opposing big government spending and big deficits. So we still got big deficits under Obama, just not nearly as large as the ones that Obama would have liked to have had. But the Republicans were able to minimize it to some degree. I mean, they didn't, completely eliminate it. But given the fact that Republicans completely caved when it came to the deficits under Trump and really did not object at all to those deficits, I think they are in a very weak position to really push back in any meaningful way now without looking like complete hypocrites.
Yep. And you know, in terms of investors getting exposure to precious metals, right? Let's say they're listening to this, they want to add precious metals into their holdings. I mean, do you have opinions on ETFs? You know, some of the mining stocks, the physical metals themselves?
Yeah, well, to buy physical metal, I've always said that, you know, why have the ETF? I mean, just buy the metal. I mean, that's part of the benefit of owning the actual gold, is to have no counterparty risk. So, you know, why take a chance? I mean, there's the ETFs, everything may be fine, but, you know, who knows? I mean, I think that you should have gold and silver that you actually own in your possession. And so, you know, we sell physical gold and silver at Schiff Gold. That's my metal company. And we have great prices. You know, we don't get people into numismatics. And that's what you want. You just want to buy as much silver and gold as you can, as close to spot as you can. And that's what we're helping people do. But if you want to kind of make an investment and bet on the future direction of gold and silver, I think the mining stocks offer tremendous upside potential. They're a different animal. They're not as defensive. I look at gold and silver physical as a defensive, as a store of wealth. But I think that if we do have a substantial increase in the price of gold and silver relative to the cost of mining it, which is something that I think is going to happen, and I think a lot more investors are going to try to incorporate mining stocks into their portfolios, I think both the earnings of these companies are going to rise, and the PE that investors are going to assign to those increased earnings is going to rise. So I think there's some tremendous upside potential in the mining stocks, and people should get involved. I mean, you know, they had a lot of these silver stocks really jumped yesterday. They're getting clobbered today. So that's just some, you know, extreme volatility that we don't typically see. But the stocks are in general more volatile than, you know, the S&P. But, you know, buy the dips on these things and hold on to them, or get into a fund. You know, we manage a fund, the Euro Pacific Gold Fund, has exposure to silver stocks as well, although it's predominantly gold companies. But, you know, a lot of gold companies, they have silver as a byproduct too. So you're getting some silver when you're making a lot of these investments in these gold mining companies. But if you don't know which ones to pick and you want to hire a professional, we have a very good portfolio in our gold fund of junior mining companies that might not be on your radar. And it's hard to know, you know, which are the ones that you really want to buy and which are the ones that you want to avoid. It's such a specialized niche, which is why you really want to hire somebody. I've got a manager, Adrian Day, been doing this 30 or 40 years. I think he's really the best in the industry. He knows these companies. He knows the projects, the management teams. And so rather than trying to, you know, reinvent the wheel, you know, just hire Adrian by getting involved in the Euro Pacific Gold Fund. And anybody can buy those funds. You know, you can buy them no load. Schwab, Fidelity, E-Trade, all the major discount brokers, or you can work with the brokers at my company, and we incorporate our funds too into our wrap accounts. And then we also have separately managed accounts. We have a managed account that is focused predominantly, or exclusively rather, on mining stocks. So if you really want to get the exposure and you want to have a portfolio of individual stocks, but you want to hire somebody to manage it, that's what we're doing.
Awesome. And guys, two things I'm going to ask of you, to everybody out there in the chat. I want to crowdsource this one. I want to get a sense of where everybody's at. First, of course, throw Peter the like on the stream. Let's get this thing going. And second, if you guys currently have exposure to metals, give me the 1. If not, give me the 2 in the chat. I'm curious where everybody is at with this one. And then Peter, a follow-up question for you is when either your fund or yourself, you're looking at, you know, some of these mining stocks to put money in, what are a couple of the attributes that you look at?
Well, you know, certainly for the larger companies, you know, we look at their balance sheets, we look at their reserves, you know, how much gold and silver they still have in the mines, you know, what their production costs are, then look at their balance sheet, look at what kind of debt they have, and things like that. And, you know, when it comes to the mid-tier, the smaller ones, a lot of it has to do with the potential of these companies. Maybe they have a pretty good pipeline of projects and, what they've been spending on research and development as far as developing new mines and how the prospects look that those mines might actually turn into something viable and how much additional value it may add. But I also like it when companies have a lot of extra reserves that they're not really valuing because they're not mining them yet, because maybe they're higher cost production, and so it's not even in the stock. They're just looking at the ounces that can be produced profitably today, because I think that really gives you a call, kind of like a free call, because if the price of gold really goes up, all of a sudden a lot of gold that really wasn't being valued at all in the stock price because people assumed it would never be mined, or at least not in the foreseeable future because of the cost of mining it, all of a sudden that gold becomes viable. Not only because the price of gold might rise, but there may be some improvements in technology that may make it more efficient to actually get out that gold or those other deposits. But if we see the type of move that I think we're going to get in the metal prices, all of a sudden a lot of these projects are going to have value that right now don't appear to have any. And so that's kind of like a free call option in these stocks, when all of a sudden something that you thought had no value and isn't priced into the stock at all suddenly adds tremendous value.
Awesome. And then the last question that I have, obviously we've got a lot of folks that are looking at short-term price movements right now, but with sort of the whiplash that we saw yesterday, and then the other way today. Any thoughts that you have on shorter, medium-term prices for silver, gold market are helpful?
Yeah, well, there's obviously a lot of opportunities for traders, as there are in any market that has some volatility, where you can just trade the metals, especially, if you're using leverage. Obviously the volatility, works both ways. But to me, what we're doing is helping people take long-term positions in the companies that we think offer the best prospects in the space. I think everybody should take advantage of dips to continue to build their position in physical precious metals, because I generally advocate that people keep 5 to 10% of their portfolios in physical metal, and that's kind of like your fallback position. That's your reserve fund. Instead of keeping cash, store your dry powder in real money. And so as your portfolio is getting larger, as you're earning more money, then you have a need to increase your gold and silver position. And so it's obviously better to buy when prices are a little bit lower, so your average cost is better. So you should always be accumulating. As long as your portfolio is growing and your income is growing, then in order to maintain that weighting, you're going to need to be a buyer of gold and silver. But, given how much money has already been printed by central banks, in general, but certainly, in particular the Fed, and how much more money is going to be printed in the near future and in the distant future, and that the central banks are telling you that they're going to print a lot. The Fed is telling you. The chairman of the Federal Reserve is actually advocating for bigger government deficit spending. They want the fiscal stimulus. They're ready to monetize it. And they're telling everybody, we're going to get more inflation. The Fed is now saying their job is not to fight inflation, but to create inflation. They want to throw gasoline on an inflation fire. They don't want to put it out. So they've warned you that the value of your money is going to go down, because they are going to specifically make that the goal of their policy. So given that, the price of gold and silver should already be much higher. People just haven't figured out how much value they're going to lose to inflation. And in reality, inflation is a tax. That's really what it is. Bottom line, the government inflates the money supply instead of collecting additional taxes. So you have all this new government spending that the Biden administration wants to do, not only for COVID stimulus, but Green New Deal, reparations, Medicare for all, debt, student debt forgiveness, free college, whatever that is. All that stuff has a huge cost. And nobody is willing to raise taxes on the middle class to pay for it. You can't get the money from the rich because that's not a big enough bucket. And the rich will find ways to avoid the taxes or simply not generate the income. And so the taxes just won't be there. They don't want to tax the middle class honestly. So what they're going to do is print money. And they're going to use all that newly printed money to pay for all these new government programs. But that does not mean that those government programs are free. We're paying for it through a higher cost of living. So when the government taxes our incomes with an income tax, they take our money and give that money to somebody else. And now we can't spend that money. So our standard of living is diminished by that tax because other people spend the money that we earned. But if the government just prints money instead and gives that money to other people, the other people who get it use that money to bid up the prices of the goods and services that we're also consuming. And so now we have to spend more money on those goods and services. So that means we have to consume less of them because we don't have an unlimited amount of money. Things cost more. We have to buy less. And that is a tax. And so instead of taking our money, the government takes the purchasing power from our money. But to avoid the inflation tax, you have to avoid what is being inflated or what is being taxed. And that is the US dollar or any investments denominated in US dollars. And you do that by getting into gold and silver. But also what we're doing at our asset management company is building portfolios of foreign stocks, dividend-paying foreign stocks that are non-US, that get you out of US dollars completely, and therefore you're able to avoid the inflation tax.
Awesome. Peter, we appreciate it. It was an honor having you for the first time on the Power Hour, especially this week. You know, it's been a wild week. I'm sure you're busy, but we really needed somebody to talk these metal markets with us, and we're so glad you could join.
All right, great. My pleasure. Take care.
All righty. Take care. And I've got Jason now too. Jason, I'm going to add you onto the stream. You're joining us. What's up? What's up?
You don't have me yet. Is the microphone working? All this stuff?
You sound good.
Really? I'm trying to find
our for a second with us.
All our assets have disappeared. All the stuff in software. So
I know. I figured that out when we were getting set up.
I'm trying to track this down. I didn't even know you were using this thing. No one tells me anything. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you kept saying that it wouldn't let you in, but I'm like, just join the StreamYard.
Why? How would I know we're using this? No one. Again, like, yeah. But we have my buddy.
We said we're using StreamYard today.
Wednesday.
Remember?
We were starting Wednesday StreamYard. Wednesday. We have my buddy Andrew Horowitz on today.
All right, bring him on. I think he's hanging out with us.
The disciplined investor. He's been doing this forever. He has from Florida. He has a good tone. He appeals. He has one of the most popular podcasts. He loves John Dvorak. I think that's who he loves. Bring him on, or is someone else before him? I don't even know.
No, let's bring him onto the stream.
Since no one told me anything, I have no idea what the hell's going on. So, what's up, disciplined investor? How are you?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Look at your new room. You got the red and blue light. You got there and the soundboard stuff. Is that from home or is that in the office?
That's in the office. We built the studio in the new office. So moved out to a new office a couple of years ago. Was kind of running a smaller studio for the podcast for years. I said, you know what? We're going to build a studio finally. And there you go.
Yeah. And it looks so. Can we get a wider view or is it the camera not going to move? Can we see more of the studio or no?
That's about it.
That's about it.
All right, Jason, that's aspiration for us. We need to move towards that.
Yeah. We think we'd have some of this stuff, but we don't. It's awesome. He has a good setup there. He's underselling his thing. When I was there in his office like 7 years ago, he had a sweet setup. So he's underselling it. There's like all this machinery there and all that stuff. There is, Andrew.
We got to. It's just warm in the room. By the way, how's the weather up there in Detroit, buddy?
So freaking hot. It's like I don't know what the heck. It's like a warm. Like I don't know. It's like I just got back from Florida and I'm like wearing shorts in Michigan. No, it's like 10 degrees. It's like freezing.
Yeah, a balmy 10 degrees.
Yeah, it's freezing. I don't know why people live here.
Yeah, humid. So, I mean, it's 60 degrees down here. I woke up to 49 and I was like, I don't even know how to get out of bed. So
I hear
you guys doing a great job. I just listened to the discussion with Peter Schiff. He had some good points there.
Yeah. I agree. I'm not in the metals, but I sort of want to be after having that discussion.
I mean, we've been for our clients, we've been running the metal side or commodity side for a long time, but this last go round, of the whole kind of the last 4 years when all of a sudden the Republicans became Democrats in spending, that whole concept of where there was restraint for that party for a long time, and rightfully so for a lot of reasons, lower taxes, let's let this thing just inflate up. Powell and the rest of the Fed saying, hey, we have no inflation. And if there is inflation, they'll change the rules. to make it look like there's no inflation, right? Just kind of work the statistics. I mean, it makes all the sense in the world to have inflation protection. And that's why you're seeing that with stocks and gold and to a degree silver and even like tips in the portfolio. So makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely. And what else are you looking at? I mean, you've got the tagline disciplined investor. It's I don't know if it's tough to stay disciplined at a time right now. There's probably never a more important time to be disciplined than right now, but I'm curious what you're telling people, what sorts of questions you're getting, etc.
So it's interesting because a lot of people, since of course the great meltdown of the pandemic lock-in of earlier this year, people got, pretty scared of, what's going to happen. Nobody knew what was going to happen the next day, not only with their portfolios, but with their lives. A lot of people wondering what to do. A lot of people just kind of washed out and said, I'm done with this. I've been through this before. I'm not interested. And then the question was, well, what now? And all of a sudden markets started turning around and we had the Fed backing it and fiscal stimulus backing it. And everybody was like, okay, let's get the markets back to normal as fast as possible. Let's get that wealth effect going. And then let's get hopefully the opportunity for, the economy back. And markets obviously took off. Now, one of the things that happened is it left a lot of people behind. That was a big problem. So very, very basic, non-trading side for a second here. We start talking to people, what is this all about? And what are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to accomplish just being in the investment environment today and tomorrow and the next week? Or is it like a 20-year plan or a 10-year plan? So we kind of started working on this much more, as I call it, the 1 foot in, 1 foot out process of getting back in. So seeding portfolios through a dollar cost averaging process and then doing a good amount of opportunistic buying when and if there are dips at certain areas that seem like values there. And that helped a lot of people along getting back to where they wanted to be, but yet not in such a place that they were worried about this thing just busting apart and dropping by 20, 30% overnight. So it's been kind of almost a time of education and re-education for a lot of people about what their goals are, what their risk tolerance is, and really what they're trying to accomplish with their money. So that kind of differential between trading, finding a stock that could ramp and go wild to, investing. The other side of the coin is, what's out there and what is available. And clearly we're seeing, great opportunities alongside of this pump and dump scheme that has been kind of, it's been, I would say, romanticized in a way over the last several weeks in particular, but also with many of the tech stocks, many which have good fundamentals, but a lot of them that don't. So it's been a kind of an interesting battle right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're pretty much back up to all-time highs in the S&P 500. I mean, I checked this morning, we were less than 1% away from all-time highs. For a lot of your clients, are you keeping them fully invested? Are you diversifying them out of U.S. equities? I'm curious how you're handling that.
So we have in our one strategy, which is our global allocations, an allocation to equities, which are small, mid, and large cap, U.S. based, and also foreign between emerging markets as well as developed markets. Also have a position in real estate. Alternative assets are important. Commodities in there as well, and inflation protection areas like tips and in the bond area, very short maturities, very short duration. So there is a mix in there, but we are also in our non-US bond exposure, whether it's EM or whether it is in developed. Most of the time we're looking for unhedged to stay away from the weakness in the dollar that we continue to see, like you just talked about with Peter Schiff about the devaluation. Now, he's been talking about devaluation of the dollar since I had him on my show 10, 12 years ago. So this is
probably before that too.
Right. That's a constant theme, the commodities and all that. I agree that there is that opportunity for the dollar to be devalued, but at the same time, you have to look at this in a relative basis, right? The fact is that the dollar is going down, but everything's going down also. It's a race to the bottom of currencies. We're not the only country. Yes, we're down 7% since the high in March or so last year in total. But I don't think necessarily the dollar is doomed like some people are talking about. But yet I'd rather be erring on the side of caution due to the fact that we have a pretty bad situation with the pandemic. Our economy is a big hole. We have the largest void to fill. And again, with the stimulus and the direct payments and the infrastructure bill and the spending and all that's going to go on, it doesn't necessarily look like it's going to benefit the dollar compared to other countries, what they have to put into their systems. I mean, look at Asia. Asia looks pretty good. Look at Vietnam. You look at certain areas throughout South Korea, et cetera. They're looking pretty good. China,
And
if we believe their numbers.
Are you doing any crypto investing?
The problem with crypto investing with what we do is, first of all, what are we going to do with it? What vehicle are we going to use? So there was like the grayscale for a while there, right? And could we use that? Well, not really, because the premium is so wacko compared to the NAV. That came in a little bit recently. So that was a problem. The second thing is I have a problem if I can't explain valuations to a client. And if they ask me about it, even though the investment may do very well, how do I explain that to them? What is backing it and what's involved? So it's really been something we have not been doing at all because of vehicle issues.
Yeah, I recently bought some USDC and GUSD, which is like it's tied to the US dollar stablecoin. Supposedly your principal is safe and you have a lot more interest. I don't know. I don't suggest you look at
what interest rate are you getting?
8.7%. And and supposedly my principal is safe unless like Coinbase goes out of business or unless Gemini goes out of business, which they could. I don't know. But that's supposedly, I'm not telling that's a fact, Andrew. I did this in the beginning of December. And so talk to me at the end of January or end of February, and let's see if my principal stays the same and the interest is there.
I'm assuming what you're doing is you're probably funding their operations with that is what's going on. I would assume.
But well, I guess it's like lending out the money so they can buy Bitcoin or something.
Right. Exactly.
Really sure. Yeah. So
you're on the other side. You're on the other side of the margining.
Yes. And I'm not taking principal risk with buying Bitcoin, which I own a little bit of Bitcoin, but I'm saying I'm trying to find yield on cash, and that's not the bank account, Right. That's JP Morgan's 0.005.
Right.
So.
Yeah, that's a bit confiscatory with the taxes that you have to pay, and then inflation. So it's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, I agree.
Right, exactly. Yep. I know that's why. Yeah. How is Disciplined Investor? How you guys been over there?
Things have been great. I mean, the podcast is rocking, and new clients coming in. It's been a great year. My kind of business, we have a couple of strategies. One is our global allocation, which is kind of like the tried and true. Diversified portfolio. Then I have our trading strategy, which is a long short and hedge fund style. Gosh, I don't want to say the word hedge fund. Oh my gosh,
You're about to get flamed.
Oh my gosh. So it is a hedged style, not hedge fund style, a hedged style situation, and that's doing pretty well. I mean, we've attracted a lot of assets. It is used as a diversifier. We use individual stocks based on criteria that we've worked on for years to come up with. It's a screening process, looking for growth of earnings, looking for solid growth of margins. We want to see ROE, above certain thresholds. We want to make sure volume is at certain trading. What's interesting is that this year we came to the year pretty light because we couldn't find stocks that met all of our fundamental metrics. Well, that was really good, right? So we kind of added some. We have about a 48% exposure right now to individual equities. We stayed away from some of the short side because while we did okay on some of them, the fact is when we have a stock like a Target, we're looking at a Planet Fitness, which is trading about $74 a share, almost an all-time high. PLNT is a symbol where they have horrible fundamentals. They're in the chokehold of a pandemic, right? And the stock doesn't go down. You got to wonder, how much more am I willing to invest in something like that just can't go down?
Up in Planet Fitness, those gyms make a lot of money. People don't cancel memberships.
They don't, but they're also not at all at the membership levels they were. And in fact, the membership uptake that they always have in January, the fat December into the gym December, in January, where everybody goes to the gym. Well, their numbers are really way off, and you have to look at that. And I was on a couple of conference calls because a lot of those are owned by individual players, and it's kind of almost like a franchising process and system. There's not a lot of money to be made at the individual business level for whatever reason. There's a lot of equipment in there, a lot of overhead, a lot of waste. So we looked at this. We had a couple of trades on it. On the short side, we did okay. Then it started going up. I said, we're out of it. We shorted again. We did just okay, kind of came out almost at even. I said, you know what? Until we see a major change in the dynamic, whereas people are willing to buy anything at any price, right? Isn't that what's going on right now? You got to kind of play the long game pretty hard.
Yep. Every time I've, trimmed my margin, I have a little margin. It's been the wrong move. It's been the wrong move every single time.
Right.
I mean, I was 20% margin. Now I'm down to like 8, and I'm mad I did because it's been the wrong move every single time. And I say it to myself when I do it. but it's like be conservative, Jason. Don't mess it up.
Yeah,
so.
you don't want to be 130% long when we see a 7% correction or something like that.
Yeah, especially with individual stocks, you get slammed by 20%.
That's what I was going to say, especially since you own the high flyers, right? So,
Yes,
if GM moves down 3%, Tesla's going down 12%.
Especially since all my money's in AMC. Just kidding.
That whole thing this week has been really an interesting discussion. I mean, I know you've been talking about it a lot, this whole, and I'm probably going to get a lot of people pissed off right now, but I talk about it on the shows, DH Unplugged, the Disciplined Investor podcast. I talk about this all the time, and I've been interviewed about that. This whole idea that this is a revolution, it's the idea that there is this social justice and, equitable change in how the assets are distributed. I mean, this whole thing, in my opinion, with many of these names is simply a greed play, which is fine. You want to trade it, that's great. But to go into this with flags waving that we are taking over and that we're going to get rid of all the things that were done to us negatively over the last 20 years by Wall Street, for those that just opened up Robinhood accounts 3 months ago, okay, and never invested a day of their lives, is kind of a little ridiculous.
I hear you. I hear what you're saying. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but last Thursday is like we were the room where it happened. The stock didn't move. It was at $41, and Citron came on our show this Thursday before last. Citron came on our show, this exact show that you're on, and we had no idea he was coming on. It was about GameStop because his Twitter account got hacked. Andrew left, and then all of a sudden the Wall Street bettors came on the show, and it was.
Well, it didn't get hacked. Just to clarify, it was the internet issues, but keep going.
Okay. The Wall Street bettors came in the show and they took over the show, and it was mayhem. And then we had a Wall Street better guy speak, and it was the start of the craziness. We didn't start the craziness. We were the room where they had the fight. And it was and I just,
and Andrew left now is no longer going to be publishing his short research, which I always thought was a dumb thing to do anyway.
Why? I like that.
No, I like it. I like it as a consumer of the information, but that can get turned on you. Listen, just look at Bill Ackman when he had that big mouth all about HLF,
Herbalife,
right? And what happened? He got slammed for that. Look at a lot of the things that happened with the Einhorn, a lot of his shorts. When he went public with a lot of that, it really turned out very badly because people got aggravated because they think shorts are a bad thing.
Yeah, and all of you out there, you need to do yourself a favor. Type in Ackman versus Icon on TV. If you have not seen this video, it's like, other than what we do at Benzinga, it's probably the best 20 minutes of financial programming of all time. But basically, you've got two billionaire hedge fund managers just duking it out on TV, right? They get personal. They talk about the stocks a little bit, but I mean, they're just going head to head. If you have not seen that, do yourself a favor and watch it. It's well worth it.
And by the way, you have old school, new school. You have Ackman, who in that incredible amount of facts, right? All sorts of information, all sorts of research. I think when he kind of jumped the shark a little bit was when he had a website like, herbalifefraud.com or whatever he had, that website. That was kind of like, all right, enough, But then he got Icon involved, and Icon was it was all about just fat money going to sit on the opposite side, right? And just try to bust this trade. And he did it pretty well.
Yep.
But I think everybody believed Ackman, to be honest with you.
I did too.
But the trade swung to Icon because he was just, they just crushed him.
Yeah. Yep. I know. I mean, I watched his movie. I mean, all of it. Right. And I was behind him, and I'm like, this company's going down. But, sure enough, he got hit on it, had to cover, had to change how he's doing his short position to puts. I mean, it was a fiasco.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, this whole thing with GameStop, I mean, and then you have like a Mark Cuban on CNBC today. Did you see that interview?
He was mad. He was mad because they misquoted him, and he was in the Wall Street Bets Reddit community last night and answering all these questions. And he said, just hang in there with your stock in GME, but there was more to the thing. So Deidre Bolton didn't give the whole quote. So he called immediately because he was getting ripped online and to defend it. But yes, what's your take on it? Because I know he talked about, Valuation doesn't matter sometimes. Let's hear you.
Yeah, he's talking about he's trying to make a case for valuation for GameStop with some ridiculous numbers. Number one, number two, he had what is he doing on the Reddit anyway? He's playing games. Let's be honest, okay? He's telling people to invest in GameStop or hold your position or whatever he said. What is he doing there? Where's his expertise in that area? I mean, he's got a big name. He's Shark Tank. He's Mark Cuban. I get all that. Smart guy. I understand. Billionaire, done well. But what is he counseling people on a Reddit board? I just don't understand why people are getting involved, except for their own egos in this whole thing and trying to
stoke pandering a little bit.
Yeah, stoke a fire, get in the limelight. Listen, all of our media has seen a major bump in the last 2 weeks. Would we agree with that, with this whole fiasco that's going on, this whole experience? I mean, my numbers on my podcast went straight up. So, and we talked about it last week. This week coming up, by the way, Anthony Pompliano, you know him?
Yeah.
Anthony Pomp, he's coming up this week. We're going to interview later this week.
He's
great. We're going to be talking about crypto. We'll be talking about all of these trading. But listen, when we look at
a weird one for you because you don't do crypto.
That's okay. He covers a lot of different areas, but we're getting there's a lot of talk about crypto. We might as well educate on it, right?
Yeah, you're gonna have to buy it by the end of the show, man.
I have a little Bitcoin. I do have.
You need more. You need more. You sound like you're like not a believer in the crypto trend. It's all right. Anthony will convert you. It's okay.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will.
He will.
But but the thing is, about this GameStop, whether or not GameStop is worth whatever number you want to put on it. The tell of this whole thing was when we saw all these other names. I saw you mention earlier COS, you got AMC, you got Build-A-Bear. I mean, come on,
I was in it.
Okay, you could be in it, but you're trading it, right? You're not
trading.
I did Tootsie Roll the same way.
14% on Build-A-Bear, and then I got off.
I got it. Listen, I just was going to put on GameStop. I just closed it out. I made 100% on it. Yep. So, it's great to trade these things, right?
Jason and I are in that one too.
Yeah, I mean, so the thing is, you trade. There's a difference between trading and investing and a religion. Once you start getting into the religious aspects of this whole thing, once you get into this is going to be, once you make a hold a flag up, or once you decry something that this is not this financial justice mission that you're on, I see it all over the place. We're going to break them. Who's going to break what? And why would you want to burn your own house down anyway? Have you ever wondered all those riots? People burn their own houses down. You're like, what? Why you burn your own house down? Burn down something else. So the whole thing.
One thing I do want to talk about, we haven't talked about this before, Jason, but I'm just going to bring it up, which is on the valuation side of things for GameStop. When the stock, and I know, right, like actually making the fundamental case for it. When the stock was at $400 a share, I think it was, I don't know. It was 30 billion market cap, something like that, 20 billion. But at $400 a share, it's only trading at like 4.2 times sales. S&P 500 average is 2.79 times sales.
Yeah, but look
right?
at
it has negative net income, right? So obviously that's a problem, right? It's not like you can say it's any times EBITDA, as it has negative EBITDA. But I mean, given all this publicity, right, and all these people, fanning around it, if they get a sales boost and flip some positive EBITDA, I mean, it's not insane.
But what about this? Has anybody? Maybe I'm wrong about this, and maybe you guys can help me. How come they haven't done a secondary? Did I miss the secondary?
I can't give you an answer on it.
They're going to get in trouble if they do. I think that's why.
The only answer I can give you is the banks that they're going to are saying, this is up because of Wall Street bets. It's going to fall. So we're going to buy the $100 million in the secondary right now. And then the stock's going to fall to 14 and we're going to be left at an $85. So they don't want to be the dumb bank. That's the answer I got from a couple of people.
I don't know. Somebody did the dumb bank thing with AMC then.
I know they did it at 4.5. I know.
Insiders were selling BlackBerry all over the place. BlackBerry. That's another one. I mean,
Yep.
Some of this stuff is a little weird, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, we saw which one was it that went bankrupt and tried to do it? Hertz or something?
Hertz is bankrupt.
That little pop, and then they tried to do the secondary.
But by the way, Hertz wouldn't be bankrupt. If this would have happened now, Hertz wouldn't be bankrupt. That stock would have been way up, just like Sears and all that stuff. So it's timing. I mean, this is a whole thing. So,
but remember something: the share price itself does not necessarily correlate to whether the company is profitable or not and can continue as a going concern. So whether we have a stock that's GameStop at $5,000 a share does not mean the company is going to do well in the future, nor does it mean that the company right now has the wherewithal to stand with the bill. I think it's $1 billion of outstanding debt, and all of the things that are going on in the industry changes. I mean, GameStop is Blockbuster, is it not? Compared to other things out there, they've tried to make the pivot. They learned from a Blockbuster where they shouldn't stay with what they're doing because what it is the only thing they know. They pivoted. There's a lot more things they do, but it's still at the end of the day a retail establishment dealing with games. And we knew this when all of a sudden Apple and Google started doing games on the phones, right? GameStop was like, that's a problem. So you look at that. You look at AMC. Is AMC a going concern? It was a problem, and it is a problem during the pandemic when you can't go. But there's alternatives now. People are much more used to watching premieres, The Mandalorian, a series from Disney, on their TV by buying a subscription versus going to the movie theater. I miss the movie theater. I'm sure you do too, right? Going to the movies, the big screen, paying for the popcorn, paying $42 for your family for popcorn and drinks. But yet, and Jason, you have a big family. You know what it's like. They like the candy, like the M&Ms. Dad, I want the big popcorn. I want the kitty pack. I want the $5 small Diet Coke.
Now we just watch it at home on Netflix.
You just watch it at home. Or you'll buy.
I even paid $20 once to watch a movie premiere, like on opening night.
So isn't that interesting? So for the longest time, my wife and I, we looked at, you got to pay $6. Oh no, I'm not doing that, right? For a movie, or $9.95. Now it's like, it's $18. I used to pay $25 to go to the movies for the two of us. Well, we'll just buy it at home. I got a big enough TV in my house, and if worse comes to worse, I'll move a little closer to it. It'll be really big, the TV, right? So
yep.
We've all changed.
Kevin O'Leary thinks the movie theaters are going away.
I would tend to agree with that. I think they're all going to become Amazon fulfillment centers. Just saying.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So
maybe.
Or sports betting. Maybe they get some interactive sports betting thing going. Who knows? Yeah.
There was actually an announcement yesterday on, I think it was Carnival announced that they're going to have a sports book, and I was pretty excited. I'm like, wow, that's cool. You go on a cruise, there's a big sports book like they have in Vegas, a room where you hang out, you smoke some cigars, you have a few drinks, you hang out with the gang, you're watching the games and all. Then they announced it's an app-based when you're at sea only. So I'm not sure what the excitement was about for that, but a couple other things. You want me to give you a couple of the symbols and things that I'm thinking about?
Yeah, hit us. We do have to hop to our next guest in just a couple minutes here, but hit us. We'll never turn down symbols.
Yeah, EV Space, you probably know Blink, the charging support for Blink on that area. NIU, which is a Chinese e-scooter company. Tattooed Chef, I call it manipulated proteins, kind of the same genre of Beyond Meat, TTCF. Celsius Holdings, Celsius Beverages, if you will, CELH, kind of an alt beverage that if you look at that chart, CELH, it looks fantastic. And we own that for clients. Many of these we own for clients, but that is really taken over pretty well, and a really exciting name, I think, for what it is. I mean, for what it is. It's not a Tesla, but stock chart looks pretty darn good.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it now. Again, that's CELH, Charlie Echo Lima Hotel. It's a nice chart.
That's all I got.
Cool.
All right, skip to another guest. Thanks for having me, Jason. Next time you come down, come on, we got to go fishing. We got to go boating. We take the fam out.
What city are you in right now?
I'm in Fort Lauderdale, always and always will be.
Oh, but
you're a Palm Beach guy. I know you. You're a Palm Beach guy, dude.
I'm at Mar-a-Lago, whatever it is.
Of course, at the Ritz. I know. It's beautiful. It's beautiful in all Florida. I don't know. Yeah.
Or I'm going to move to Puerto Rico with Peter Schiff. So one of the two.
Is that where he's living?
Yeah.
Really interesting.
We'll talk about it later. Yep.
See ya. All right. Thanks
for coming on. Nice seeing you.
Thanks so much.
Long time no talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my brother-in-law just wrote, I'm an Aventura guy. That's where his mom lives there, and I used to.
We call that South Boca.
Yeah, there you go. So, all right, I'll talk to you.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Thanks, Luke.
Right, Thank you.
Bye. All right. So we got why are you doing that, Luke? I just remember. Okay. So it's just funny. You put us on this new software today. No clue. So I just
wait. I need to stick up for Rohan. Rohan walks in from the bathroom and you go, Rohan, we're switching to StreamYard today.
No, Wednesday.
Already told me.
Wednesday.
Wait, all right, Wednesday. Rohan, get on here. Third party.
He says today, but I said Wednesday. Why would I be going to the other software? We had to get our assets in there. We had to get the graphics, all the stuff that we have in the bottom toolbar, like how we have the ZingerNation, ZingerNation. That all had to be in there before we went on live today. We don't have any of that stuff. It's a whole new show today.
I did sort of assume it was going to be in there, didn't you? Like, I didn't go in and delete it.
No, not even just that. The show yesterday has our logos and stuff. The graphics are gone. They're not in here. We couldn't go live using the new software today. It had to be tomorrow. We had to put the graphics in. You don't just like go throw this up.
I know what you're talking about. Yes.
No, but you're saying the thing that goes across. I'm saying if you go to our YouTube channels yesterday, there's a ZingerNation. All that had to be in there. So how can we go live today unless they're going to do it in 20 minutes? I also have to film stuff for the Core Value Awards. I don't know. And then I was trying to get in for a good 25 minutes, Luke. Good 25 minutes. No one get back to me except Mitch.
Do you look at the chat replay? It says Jason, join the StreamYard.
Mitch is beautiful.
I did drop that in there a couple. Yes, you're putting in the chat. Let me in. So in the YouTube chat, I'm running back to you. Join the StreamYard.
Oh, on YouTube.
Yeah, but you're typing to us on YouTube.
But why would you be writing me? You're hosting the show. Why are you the one getting me in this thing? Why are you involved in it at all? You're hosting the show, bringing the guest on. You have enough on. So I wasn't looking at what you wrote back to me. Not for a second. I'm not saying I appreciate you trying to help, but like someone else should be doing that. We have 5 people that work on the video. It's 6 people that work on the video team. Actually, 8.
Spencer Israel, come on now.
I mean, if Israel's involved, then yeah. I mean, it was just so frustrating. And then no one knew that these little graphics are missing, so that I'm writing that in. I have to go to the everybody chat to locate it. I'm just angry about it all because I feel like we just do stuff and don't do it right. So
all right, well, I'm going to tease this to everybody, guys.
And our users are too important to us. Everyone in this room right now.
Guess what we're doing for our users starting tomorrow, guys.
It's so important to us. And then I have a surprise for the users. Since I'm so angry at this, we're going to bring on Tom Nash at 125 to give another stock pick. His last pick he gave was BINGO. I can't even sing. I'm so angry today. BINGO, BNGO, you know. So he has a stock pick. I know the pick. I didn't buy it because I don't want to go ahead of you guys. But he has a pick. He thinks there's 30% upside. He likes it. It's not GameStop. Okay.
All right, but what I'm going to tease, we do have to hop to our next guest in a second here. But for our users tomorrow, we're trying something new. We're just going for it. We are going to try to do day-long continuous video. We've gotten so much feedback that there's not enough tickers that we're getting to, that we need to talk technicals. We need to spend some more time doing pranks. Whatever it is, we just keep getting messages that it's not enough. So tomorrow we're going to try to go from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock Eastern, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. ET. We're going to take a stab at it. We might have some bumps in the road. But again, guys, smash that subscribe, smash that like. We want to get this thing going, make BZ Network, make ZingerNation where it's at. So, yes.
Luke, I tried to do a prank yesterday. We had Rohan prank John G. He had his camera the wrong way, or he had the Apple Pay thing. And so he did the prank to John G. John G jumped out of his seat, but the screen was all black, so no one saw it.
Yep. Somebody's saying we should get Muddy Waters on. We know him. We could probably do that. But all right. He would come on. Or the Carousdale guy is awesome too. But all right.
Carousdale went up, gave a buy rating on Tiger Brokerage.
There you go. But all right, I'm adding our next guest on the stream. We got Robert from Wealth Builders HQ. Robert, you are here with us. It looks like your microphone might be muted, but we see you. So glad to have you here. Tell us about the site. Tell us any tickers you're looking at, or even just tell us about the value of market education.
Cool. Hey guys, thanks. I appreciate you having me on here today. So WealthBuildersHQ.com is a stock market education company. We focus very heavily on equity options, but we also do futures and Forex as well. But equities are really the thing for us. For myself, I am a Fibonacci trader. I am very much about high reliability, high repeatability, and high predictability. Those are the types of symbols and setups that we look for. And we look for them consistently over and over. And I tend to do them very much in the same stocks on a regular basis. Same stock I traded yesterday, I traded today. And there's about 20 of them that we focus through and run through on a daily basis that we're looking for specific trade setups to take.
Okay. Awesome. And you know, when you're looking for setups, like what type of stocks are they? What sorts of positions, time horizons, et cetera?
So the stocks are, you're going to know most of them. It's the Netflixes of the world. There is the Googles, the Baidus, the Alibabas, you know, some of the bigger stocks, Amazon's, you know, Chipotle Mexican Grill. I'm a huge fan of that one, probably because I shop there more than I traded.
Okay.
But I do like it a lot. It's a great stock. I trade it all the time. Netflix was one we traded today. Alibaba was a great one that went off yesterday. We do trade either a day trade or a swing trade. I'm very much a believer in a two-pronged system, which means I don't think you can just trade one way or the other. I think you need to have a system to get the maximum profitability. Now, could I just trade day trades and do okay? Yes. Same with swing trades. But if I can combine them together into the right system, find a confluence and have a high reliability of that position moving from that confluence, that to me is the best place to take that entry.
Okay, so let's talk. You just mentioned Netflix. You said you got a trade on Netflix today. I'm curious what did you see that made you want to get into the stock? Do you still like it now, etc.?
So we're actually out of it already. The trade went on, trade went off. We bought a call on it. We're out of the position already at this point. It was a great setup. There was a confluence at a Fibonacci level along with the moving average. We got a break above those levels and a retest. I'm very much not a breakout trader, but a retest trader. Get the breakout, retest, bounce for the confirmation, and then look to take the trade, which is what we did today.
Okay, got it. And I mean, do you have any positions that you're still in from today? Do you have any ones that are getting close and you'd be looking to get into in the near future? Or are you mostly getting in and out in the morning and sort of letting this sideways daytime be free time more or less?
The afternoon, the midday is more of the free time. I'm looking again this afternoon. I'm a very big SPY trader, so I'm looking at SPY once we get past our lunchtime to 2:15-ish for this afternoon. So absolutely, every position has to be reevaluated each day. Right now, we've not done a lot of swing trades because of the market, the craziness going on. The last one we did, it actually was booking. We had it was about 4 days we were in a trade, 3 or 4 days. I think we were about 74% on that trade before we were topped out of the last contract. We scale out on a swing trade.
Are you buying options too, or just a stock? What are you doing?
So it's just the options, Jason. We're not really doing anything with the equities unless we're doing covered calls, which I do a bunch of that as well. I wrote a few calls today on positions. Telray, as an example, is one. That one has really taken off well. 3D was another one, done extremely well today. So, but primarily for what we're talking about with the Netflix of the world, stock is just too expensive when I can buy an option.
And when you're day and swing trading options, what sort of time horizons are you looking at? How far out are you going?
So when I'm trading, if it's not a day trade, if I'm swing trading it, we're normally buying a 30-day option out. 65 delta, 100 plus open interest is the key for us. Right? Using Fibonacci's in everything that we do. That really is the bottom line for what we're looking at is Fibonacci's. Can I find a high reliability area, a confluence area, normally with a moving average, that I can take the trade off of there? Even the Fibonacci, the moving averages are Fibonacci levels. We use 8 and 21 versus 10 and 20, which 10 and 20 work, and you'll notice very little difference in there. But my back test of 4.5 million days told me for my style of trading, 8 and 21 were the best ones to trade.
Okay, got it. And I mean, do you ever run into liquidity problems, or I guess how do you keep yourself from running into liquidity problems when you're trying to do an intraday trade with an option contract? You need to pick the right contract, of course.
Right. So that's that 100 open interest. There's very few stocks that I'll trade without the 100 open interest. Chipotle is one of them, but that's just because I know it well.
Okay.
I love AutoZone, but you just can't get the open interest on the stock. It's on their options, it's not there. So as long as I can get that 100 open interest, I check theoretical value versus the options pricing. I'll look at the bid-ask spread, make sure we're not overvalued on the spread, and then just checking volatility and make sure that we're not going to get crushed on the vols. And then, as long as all of that lines up and we get that right setup, we're good. And if we are wrong, the way that we structure it, these trades are meant to take off because of the scaling out that we do. We do a 4-3-2-1 exit. So 40%, 30%, 20%, and 10% on our swing trades. We're meant to take that first exit within the first day or two, maybe 3 days. Other than that, if it's taking longer than that, it is taking too long. We should have had an explosion from the setup that we took right out of the gate. Okay.
And you mentioned Baba, right? You said you had an Alibaba trade either yesterday or today, sometime around here. They of course had earnings today. Are you trading into some of these events like earnings? Are you taking off the table before those? Curious how you approach those types of situations.
Yes, not taking earnings. I don't trade through and hold through the earnings on a position. If I'm doing that, it's on my covered positions that I'm holding longer term, and then I'll just go buy a put and won't write a call for that week until the earnings are gone. But the options were a little bit overvalued as far as price yesterday, but it wasn't bad enough for me not to do it. And it was a day trade in and out. And with the explosive move, it was a great setup. But no, I do not normally hold over earnings and hope that we get the right move we're looking for.
Hope and pray. And that's me with the small biotech stocks too. We have got a ton of people in the chat who love these small pre-revenue biotech stocks, especially into like PDUFA dates and FDA decision dates and data dates. And I'm always like, guys, you have no competitive advantage. You're either going to double your money or lose all of it. You just don't know which.
My very first trade ever was on a biotech called Autoimmune back in 1996 or 97. And it was a one drug wonder. I had no idea. I did a covered call on it because the guy whose website I was on said you should. It was $10.20 was the stock. My God, I can't believe I remember this to this day. It was $10.20 for the stock. The $10 call was $2 for about 7 or 8 days. And the next day the stock was at $2. They had their phase 3 and they failed. So I get it with the biotechs.
Okay, and Robert, Robert from wealthbuildershq.com. Brad Moore in the chat wants to know, Robert, do you do credit spreads or just straight calls or puts?
I will do credit spreads as well. I did a RUT iron condor today, but I do them as individual credit spreads. But primarily, we trade straight into the direction of it. The nice thing is, if I make the call, someone can take that trade, turn it from buying a call option into a bull put spread, into a debit spread if they wanted to, into a naked put. You can do any of those trades. The call is the same. The targets are the same. As long as once you hit, you're going to exit that position regardless of the trade type you're in.
Got it. Okay. Got it. So,
Robert,
funny, by the way, in the chat, they're talking about it's amazing how you remember those trades, Robert. They just know like how serious you are about these trades. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think today, I've got off 7 or 8 trades so far today. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I picked up some more shares. I like trading earning plays sometimes. I know it's somewhat of a gamble because you're not just gambling on the trend of the company. You're gambling on, are they going to announce the great news this quarter or the next quarter or the bad news, you know? So I've gotten burned trading earnings, but it's fun because you have that immediate catalyst. And if it doesn't work, you get out of it right away. I don't have to hang on to it. So you're not locking up money for a long time.
Right. What's one of the problems with an earnings trade? It happens after the market is closed. Now you're dealing with all the overnight sweat of having to wait. So instead, we developed a trade setup that we trade NASDAQ. We look for NASDAQ stocks, the big names, that are announcing after the market closes. And we're trading the NQ, the futures contract, based on that. We've built an entire trading system around that for about a dozen or so stocks that we trade. Again, the Netflixes, the Apple, Googles of the world, works extremely well.
And I mean, I'd like to see that because I mean, I'm just like, there's a stock report and earnings tomorrow after the close, and I'm buying calls and some stock in it, and that's all I do, you know.
Wait, you can't tell us which one?
No.
Okay. All right, I am holding PayPal through earnings tomorrow. We'll see. We get the advice. We don't always follow it, but all right, Robert. One more question for you. I see what I think are some shotguns behind your left shoulder there. How do those help in your trading? You blow up the computer if it's a bad day. I mean,
they're actually both BB.
Oh, they're both BB. Okay,
they're both BB. When my daughters were younger, took them out and taught them how to target shoot a little bit, but. No blowing up the computer. I've done blowing up the account enough times as a brand new trader to understand what that means for sure.
Yep. We've all been there. If you haven't blown up an account, you will. That's what I tell everybody. You were 6 months in, you haven't blown up your account. It's coming at some point.
My first mentor told me if you haven't lost $50,000 in the market, you haven't learned how to trade.
There you go.
I've done that.
I did it twice just to see if it really worked.
I did that. That was the good old 2000s, man. That was good old 2000s. So is what it is.
In 97 when I first started, and as 2000 hit, everything was great. Put a stop. Why would you put a stop? Nothing goes down. But it went down today, but it's going up tomorrow. Don't worry.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. That's my thing. I in 2000 I bought Rare Medium at $48, 100 shares. I was 21 years old. Went to 78. I bought another 100 shares. So now I'm long. 200 shares was a big position for me back then, really big. And it ensuingly went down to 0. And I was down at 45. I'm like, I got to buy more shares. And when the trend is not your friend, I go away. Like I said earlier, Robert, you weren't here, but I've been trimming my margin. Like I've been going long. And anytime I've trimmed my margin, it's been the wrong time. But I'd rather just be able to sleep better at night. And then when I find the next big position, like I always, every few weeks, I have one that I go really hardcore on. And then when I have that, that's when I'll go back in again. So.
Yeah, we teach people you've got to trade to your risk profile. If Amazon is not your thing, then don't trade Amazon because it's the best stock to trade out there, or traders are saying it is. You really have to focus on what is best for you, and finding the right risk for the trade as well as yourself is important. If you can't sleep at night, you're in the wrong positions.
Yep. All right. Well, Robert, thank you for coming on from wealthbuildershq.com. Robert Roy, experienced trader. He's lost 50,000 twice, so he knows what he's doing. And, look at the earning catalyst trades that he may have. So thank you for coming on today, man.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Yep.
Talk soon.
Have a good day. Yep. Talk to you later. Okay. So
all right, Jason.
Robert Roy from Wealth Builders HQ. Luke, are you taking off?
Yeah, but come on. We haven't talked about the hot charts in a minute here. Let's do it. The hot charts always get me fired up. Can I hit them real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Want me to put a chart on?
Yep, there we go. Thank you. All right, guys. GME. This is a 5-day chart I have up. I'll click it back to my typical 2-day chart, and we're not looking great. I mean, that's pretty much like a straight march of death. A little bit there. We did bounce off of the bottom. That's when we were halted. So we'll see. I mean, my expectation on this one is that we'll hang out sideways more or less through the end of the day, and then we'll get some highs again in the extended hours. It seems like every single late after hours, every single early morning, we're getting some bumps up in this stock. We threw it out to the chat earlier, guys. The first thing we started with for the day was, if you still like GME, you're bullish on it, give us the 1. If not, give us the 2. The probably 2/3 of chatters through the 2 not liking the stock anymore. So there's definitely some change that's happened in this group here.
That chart is not pretty, Luke. That chart is not pretty. Indicator.
Yeah, let's look at AMC too. Exact same pattern. I mean, all these charts have the exact same pattern, guys, right? We look at our blackberries, our Tootsie Rolls, that sort of thing. They're not beautiful.
What's Tootsie Roll looking like?
The Tootsie Roll. Same chart. I mean, we basically, all these stocks are more or less the same chart. They're a little bit different, but for the most part, they're the same chart. All right, all you guys who aren't trading GME anymore, tell me what else you're trading. Let's figure out what this next stock is, and let's spend some time digging into that one. But I would be remiss if I left you guys and I did not give an update on the chat challenge. Boom, favorite time of the show. Let me try to do a sound effect. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. I sort of can. Did you hear that, Rohan? All right, we got sound effects. Let's go.
The answer is Rohan didn't want to talk. The answer is yes, we can hear it.
There we go. We got sound effects, baby. We're going to be back full steam ahead today. We're just playing with the new tech setup today. But, guys, it's time for our chat challenge. This is where ZingerNation is going head-to-head. We asked all of you. We actually gave everybody access to a shared Google Sheet and said, be civil. Type in your GameStop price target for this time on Friday. You all did it. You did not delete each other's picks too much. Yeah, we even got some nice comments. I mean, look at this. A couple encouraging comments people typed on the sheet. That was really nice. But all right, let's give the update. Our last price on GameStop is, drum roll this, GME fucking percent. All right, so it's $112. That's our last price on the stock. High of the whole group, $9.98. I'm scrolling. Man, a lot of you guys way above it. A lot of people in the 3s, a lot of people in the 2s. The closest pick right now is Jory.
Holy shit.
$112 gas, pretty much right on the nose.
So, hey, guys, just so you guys know, Tom Nash is next. His last pick was BNGO, and his next pick is coming up in 2 minutes.
And we know that it's not GameStop. Let's see.
Not GameStop. I'll give you a hint. Let
me try to guess it. I know a lot of tickers. I think I know more tickers than than 99% of ZingerNation? Give me a guess.
I think. Well, what if you already know it?
Just throw it out there. Let's see.
Me throw it out there?
No, you're like gonna give me a clue. I thought.
Oh, I'm gonna give you a clue. Okay. I was like,
Yeah. Give me the clue.
What are we waiting for? You're like, I'm gonna guess it. I'm like, okay, go ahead. When do you guess the symbol? All right. The symbol starts with an F. And it's four
Fubo?
letters. I'm not done yet.
Fubo, Arcimoto.
And it's 4 letters. Symbol starts with an F. It's 4 letters.
Fubo, Fortinet.
And it's trading near a 52-week high. And it may be in the security space.
In the security space? FireEye, FI?
What?
FireEye potentially, FEYE. It starts with an F. It's 4 letters. It's in the security space.
Here's the problem with this game, Luke. You may have already said it, but I can't say that you said it because that would ruin the guess. And that's what they call a tease in YouTube land, okay? I mean, you know, we had 200.
I'm all about teases.
We had 200. You're all about teases. I'm not. I mean, I know you have blue eyes, so you like teases, but 200. We had 200,000 people listening to our show last week, and we broke the story on 3 of those brokerages, and we moved markets. And so we have a lot of new people here today.
I know.
So
I mean, the Fundware thing was the craziest one. You know?
The funding thing, that was the craziest one ever.
The guy was on our show. The next day he was on CNBC, and the stock had doubled.
Yep. I mean, yeah. And we got a guest that just popped in here. Old friend of mine. I used to beat him up at Michigan. Ian Rosen. He used to be not Portnoy. He used to be at Market Watch. Before that, Dow Jones. Before that, Goldman, and then just recently, StockTwits. And he's up to something. I think he may come on in a couple minutes to talk about it.
All right.
Tom Nash on now because I know how busy Tom is, and he is. I said 1:30, and we're 1:32, and I don't want to make him late, even though he made me late on Sunday morning with my. You know, he had to get his hair and all that stuff. He was showering late. You know, that whole thing. So,
all right, guys, and one last plug. Big interview tomorrow. We're going to be doing a lot of education tomorrow. Education on crypto, education on stocks. We're bringing on a guest who's not super in the market, just getting into the market. Her name is Mia Khalifa. So she will be on with us. Yes.
By the way, I didn't know who she was until you guys told me yesterday. Did you guys? If
she's like a media personality.
Hold on. If you know who Mia Khalifa is, press 1. If you don't, press 2. Okay, stop yelling. Trader Joe, Luke has to yell because
I love stocks.
He has a sickness. I'm sorry.
Excited.
Okay, so
okay,
if you know
I was telling everybody this because I get excited about stocks. Now they all know that it's a sickness that I have. Whatever.
If you know Mia Khalifa, press 1. If you don't, press 2. I didn't know who she was, but Luke, this morning when you called me, I was listening to interviews with her. So I actually think I should do the entire interview.
No way. You already said you're off of it. We already agreed.
Now I'm on it. I think I should do it myself.
Why?
Because I know way more about her than you.
Well, how do you have time to listen to interviews all morning?
That's what I was doing. I was in the shower. I turned on Mia Khalifa. She was in interviews. It's an interesting story. She went to school. Then she did this thing and that thing and that thing. And then, there's some interesting stuff. So I think I have to. Actually, I'm confusing my Ted Turner book that I'm listening to on audio and Mia Khalifa. So I just got confused. I don't know what she went to school, but,
She went to a military academy for high schools. Yeah, she studied history in college.
Okay. Yeah, she did study history in college. So you heard that same interview.
Yep.
Yeah, she studied history in college.
I did the same thing this morning.
Oh, you did listen to the same thing? And then after school, I forgot where she did. Is she doing stuff in the stock market? Oh, Tom Nash is gonna kill me.
Yes. Yeah, she's in the stock market. She's been buying Doge. Basically we saw that she was buying things. We reached out. We said, hey, let's do some education. Let's bring you on the show. So that's what we're doing.
Oh, really? So she bought Doge, is that what you said?
She bought Doge. She bought GME. She bought AMC. So yeah, we're going to talk hot stocks with her.
Yeah. So I did a whole research on her, but I definitely confused. Now we have Tom coming on and his video's not showing. So I don't know what she do. My account today, guys, I mean, this is probably the second best day of my account's history. So
what's your big one? Literally, mine is just SPY. SPY is just
ready. Here we go. Let me just go quick. Tesla up a killing 4%. Upwork, baby, $47. I gave it to you guys at 20, at 22, at 16, at 15. I said mortgage the house or back up the truck. I don't mean really mortgage the house. Dennis, when I said that, freaked out. I don't really mean that, okay? GAN, come on, $17 is my buy point. I bought 30,000 shares, something like that. I don't know. It's at 25.49. Penn National, we're at 109. I can bring on Dave Portnoy right now, but he's tired today. Okay, CCIV, we're up 14% today. Amazon, 2%. VYGVF, we're about to hit $9. We gave it to you at 60 cents with the CEO.
Wait,
right
Jason,
here.
check out my screen. Look at the move on Voyager.
Don't Jason me, Luke. Luke, don't Jason
1600.
me. You can't Jason me, Luke.
Well, don't Mia me.
Don't me. I am me you. I'm mean you. I'm taking Mia tomorrow. That is my. I did all those interviews. I did it all. Hey, how about Media Alpha? Someone just said they own it. That's a good. You gave that stock because they're a partners of ours, Luke. They're a customer of us. You know.
Yep.
Okay. Wait, Tom, are you coming on? What is going on with you, buddy? Tom.
He's there. I see him. His video worked.
Oh, he just turned his video on. It wasn't on before. He must have been like
waving at us. Hey, Tom.
He was peeping at us. He's like a peeping Tom. Oh, that was bad. Ooh, that worked out good.
All right, I got to get back to building. I will leave you guys to it. Tom, what's up, man?
Luke got it right.
Crazy with the Raznick.
Building. Luke's getting back to building, not back to work. That's the thing. Oh, and they told me to say on the show, if any of you guys are DevOps, you know, Kubernetes, something else, and something else. What do they tell me? Kubernetes and something else. We need to hire you. We pay Amazon $45,000 a month, and my guy here said we should be paying them $5,000 a month. That looks to me 45 minus 5. That's 40K savings. That's 480,000 end of the year. That could pay for a couple salaries, I think. So if you know DevOps, Kubernetes, and some other things, you know, hit up cooljobs at benzinga.com or Power Hour at benzinga.com. And now, without further ado, what am I seeing on the screen? Whoa, Luke! Luke, you're showing your whole screen. Oh my God, Luke, we can see you. We can see everything. Oh my God. Okay, just kidding. Luke, I just turned it off.
I was about to do some more research for tomorrow. Sorry.
All right, so. Here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Tom Nash. Luke, you just did a bad tweet, or bad chat. So Tom Nash, how are you, my man?
I'm good. How are you, Jason?
Oh, come on. Am I waking you up over there?
No, I'm good. I'm just trying to stay. I can't do Luke's energy. Coming on after Luke, it's so hard because he's so energetic. I mean, the man is like a 5-hour energy in a suit. I mean, it's hard to follow that act.
You should see. If someone could bring me Tom, hey, John G, get over here. What's the DevOps you want? Hurry up. I'm live. With Tom Nash.
Kubernetes, Nginx, Kong.
Oh, Kubernetes, Nginx, and Kong. If you know any of that stuff, then guys,
You're quick.
apply. Okay.
Handle outages. That's great.
All right, cool. So thank you. So that's that. Tom Nash. I was on Tom Nash's show on Sunday. Here's a link to Tom Nash's show that we did. It says allegedly Tom Nash. You know what it says?
Allegedly, in my opinion, blah blah blah.
I got it. Okay, I got it. So Tom Nash is right there. There's my link.
You killed it. Where your mom killed it on the show. It was such a nice touch, and we got you to cry. You cried on the show. I got you to
That's the one time, Tom, you screwed up in the interview. I know people said that you like interrupted me and stuff, and people say it to me all the time on my side too. So don't worry about that. The one time is when I was like getting teary-eyed. You shouldn't have talked. You should have let me really go. And then you started talking. So it got me out of the emotion. And if you didn't, you could have gotten like tears shedding down my cheeks. And your thing could have gone so viral that the New York Times would have covered it. I don't know why, but maybe.
Well, it depends on what my strategy is. If my strategy was, I was kind of trying to balance out the, helping you out of it versus the virality of it. So, I'm a good friend. What can I say?
I think it'd be better to get the virality of it. Yeah, Refined Warrior. If you go to the YouTube link, you'll see I got it has to do with the internet going out. By the way, Lou Pasternak, you are nuts. I'll say that for a fact. Okay. Some guy just wrote a thing in the chat. All right. It's like a fetish, crying. I don't know what he's talking about, Brent. You're gross. So Tom, Luke guessed the stock you were talking about. Of course, Rohan's not where he's supposed to be, but Luke
exposed.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a video camera on Rohan all day because he didn't let me in today. He didn't. Yes, I cried, guys. I did. Brent, I cried on camera about your sister. So that's what it was about. So
I think it was a beautiful moment.
It was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was very authentic. And when your mom came on and she told that story, it was also very authentic. I think that was amazing.
She was so confused. She's like, I was listening to it on the TV and it was 30 seconds delayed. I'm like, Mom, turn the freaking TV off. So anyway, all right. So Tom, let's get to stocks. The guys, just a precursor on Tom. He gave the last stock he gave me was BNGO, and I bought it at 5. He bought it at 3, I think, and it's at like 11, 12. What?
Yeah. Well, I bought it 308, but this isn't that sort of stock. This is a completely different stock. Don't expect BNGO numbers here. This thing isn't going to go 4x. It's an established company, so it's a $24 billion company. So it's a massive company. They've been around for 21 years. So that's kind of for your portfolio. That's kind of the stock that you kind of put there and you let it cook for a couple of years. That's a long-term value investing. I think the stock is going to do 30% over the course of the next, let's say, 18 to 24 months for one reason, which I'll tell you today. But first of all, I don't hold back. So the stock is, I told you before, Jason, it's Fortinet, FTNT. It's a very established company. You can put the stuff in the chat because my accent, not everybody can understand. But essentially, it's a company that's been around for 21 years. They do cybersecurity, and they're pretty much, I call them the Scottie Pippen of the cybersecurity community because they do everything really, really well. They don't have any shortcomings. Everything is really good, starting from the financials all the way to their margins, to the products, to the services, to the growth, and pretty much, and the potential also. The upside is there with new technologies. They made a really smart acquisition last year, about 6 months ago. They had some issues. They had a whistleblower lawsuit in 2019, which they settled. It had to do with some labeling issues, but it's finished and done. I don't think that was that much of a huge deal, and they faced whatever had happened there. So this company literally went from I think 1.2 billion in revenue to 2.5 billion in revenue in 4 years. So 2016, they had literally half the revenue they have today. If you look at their margins, it's monopoly money. 80% gross margin, almost 18%, closing on 20% EBITDA. Year-over-year growth, 35% EBITDA year-over-year growth, almost 20% revenue growth year-over-year. Virtually no debt, non-leveraged, 2% short interest in the market. So nobody's shorting this company at all. I mean, people not shorting this. And so everything is well and dandy. If you look at the financials, where is the element of the underpricing? It's an expensive stock. It's at $150. I think it can go all the way to 200, maybe 195. So in the 200s for one reason. I think that this is a very established company, but the market isn't pricing in the latest acquisition. So when I looked into what this company is doing as far as where it's heading, where it's trending, so cybersecurity is pretty saturated. We have Checkpoint. We have a lot of competitors in cybersecurity. The new thing in cybersecurity is this new thing called SASE. It's called Secure Access Service Edge. Essentially, again, I'm not a specialist on this topic, so don't crucify me, yeah? But essentially what it means is that this is the security that not specifically focused on your own servers, but rather on external stuff, the work that you do on the cloud and potential hazards that working remotely, basically your employees create for your organization. So basically things that happen on the cloud and externally from your organization, basically with everybody going to remote work and everything moving to the cloud, it's a whole different set of security, which kind of the old school guys are not really that much good at as they probably should be, because this happened pretty fast, the whole switch of the remote working. So in July 2020, they bought a company called OPAQ. I don't know how to pronounce them, but it's OPAQ. And they specifically, that company specifically does solutions. It's a startup and it specifically does solutions in that area. Essentially, they almost instantaneously became kind of, I would say, almost the leaders in this whole SASE kind of field, which is kind of the remote cloud security, external security rather than internal security. And there was a small spike in July when the deal kind of went through. But if you look at the chart, the price really hasn't changed since before the transaction and after the transaction. They had a little bit of the stock recently kind of did well, but over the past year, the stock did about 30%. in this crazy market, I mean, it's almost means that they pretty much did, they did kind of the standard growth of whatever the S&P did. So I basically see it as a company that has very, very low risk, extreme operational efficiency, great margins, great products. They still have a very nice package for their traditional products, and they're kind of the leaders in this new business that they're developing, the SASE business. And the best thing about them is also one thing that I'm a little bit strange. I like companies where I can still get the founder as still the CEO. Specifically, for some reason, I kind of like this better than the CEO that every 3 years we have a new CEO. So again, here we have the founder who's still there. He's been there since 2000. He's still the CEO. He still manages the company. So that's kind of always the things I'm looking with these older companies. I like to see if the head guy is still there, even though he doesn't have to be. I mean, the dude is a billionaire, right? So, and I'm not the only one who's thinking that. If you take a look across the board, a lot of really good analysts that I've checked, including one guy from Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer gave it $190 target price, and there was a BTIG gave them a big boost. So a lot of people are saying what I'm saying here. I'm not the only one. And again, this is not going to be BNGO, but I mean, it's a really good. I think it's a really solid long-term value fundamentals investing, like I like to do. So
I love it. I love it.
This is Tom Nash, and these are my thoughts.
Yeah, these are, and this is an opinion. And now you did say, so you're talking about margins and this. What brought you to this idea, though? Like how did you focus in on Fortinet? Like, how did you come to this thesis? Is it from like what you know the company from something, or you work in the security space? What is it?
So I started digging around. I really like tech, and specifically lately have been going deep into the SaaS world. I think that's my thing. I love SaaS companies. So and as I started going deep into the SaaS world, I discovered a lot of great companies. I recently started looking specifically into cybersecurity, and I went through 5 or 6 of the leaders in the category. And actually, there's another company that's really good in this field as well, which I'll save for the next show. But I found like 2 companies. This one that really blew me away. I was basically building like a spreadsheet of, like a scorecard. And I noticed some companies, there's like 5 or 6 that I was looking at. This thing was performing like an A+. I couldn't find a problem with this company at all. I couldn't find anything I would say, well, here's the problem, or anything like that. They're innovating. They're still conservative, still making great margins, have a very solid clientele base, $25 billion of market cap. So there's nothing I see here that can really, for me, it's a very low risk investment, and I really like that. So it's not stagnating. It's growing like EBITDA is growing 35% a year. Revenue for a $25 billion company to grow 20% a year in this industry, it's really exciting.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's so do you have as much conviction on this one as you did BNGO at the time, or is it?
Oh yeah, I love this company, but again, you have to give these things time. I mean, when you're talking about these blue chip companies, Jason, they don't behave like penny stocks. There's a different pattern to these. You have to be patient with these companies, and this is not the company you put in your portfolio and that you check every day. It's like a microwave dinner versus like an oven baked dinner. You have to let it cook for a couple hours. You know what I mean? This thing needs time, but eventually the market will catch on to what's going on with this, because they're currently leading this new trend, and it's not baked into the price yet.
Got it. No, that's good. That's good to know. So now I'm
also happy to go back to fundamentals. This whole GME thing was really crazy, but I mean, we're finally talking about fundamentals and value investing.
It's right. I mean, I told you about API a few days ago, and it's taken off. It powers Clubhouse, and then so API Agora is up. But I love the fundamentals. I mean, my stocks like GAN, the thing behind the thing, ESTC, Elasticsearch. I end up buying more shares, Tom, today. ESTC, Bill.com. That was a Luke pick. BILL. I buy everything that Benzinga uses. That's the way I buy these things.
When you told me about Agora,
yep,
they were $37 when we spoke about it. It was I have a note here from I think January 16th or 15th when we spoke about it.
Yep.
Agora, and it's now at 73.
73.
So it went from 37 when we spoke to 74, and you did it on the show here. I remember we were talking about it here, and then you did it again on my show. So it went another 30% since then.
And I don't know if I bought it, and I don't even know if I bought it January 15th, but That's what I do. I find big gainers. It's just the question of getting the people to want to buy them, and wanting to buy them. Like you find big gainers too. BNGO, FTNT. I don't own FTNT yet. I probably will buy it. But today,
But there's no rush with this company. That's that's not the sort of company you just get it. There's no rush. I mean, you can always. It's not going to go up in a day. I mean, it's just you can do your.
Are you against margin? Using margin?
It's a tough question.
Well,
I don't.
I'm not. I used to be. And the middle of last year, like October or August, is when I started like going more into it, and I lowered my margin a lot the last 2 weeks. But like with one of my earnings plays that I just bought, I went into margin for it for sure.
There's a whole debate, Dave Ramsey versus people who say cash is trash. So I'm probably somewhere in between. I really have a thing with debt, like a psychological thing. I don't like debt in general. Basically, I'm very conservative. If you can avoid it, it's a good tool to catalyze a business or in a portfolio. But it when you increase the risk, you increase the upside, you increase the downside. So
I agree. So if my earnings, So I'm doing, but I
depends.
If you want to double
Okay,
money,
let me give an example.
Yeah.
Okay, if you are investing in a stock like Tesla or a stock like a blue chip, like a blue blood stock, you might as well do it with margin because this thing isn't going to go like 50% down. You might enjoy the upside, the downside. These stocks tend to not underperform. I mean, if you look at it, if you spread it out for 2 years, I mean, the margin is just a catalyst to making more money with these types of stocks. But if you're putting margin into penny stocks, then it's getting dicey.
Got it. Yeah. No, I hear you. I have one penny stock, but I bought this guy Jack said, and it's probably shady, but I don't know. He likes it for long term. XERI. I don't really know it. XERI. So
you experiment a lot with stock.
Yeah, I do, but I sift out the things. I listen to smart people, and then I have my own conviction on stocks. I listen to go
Jason,
ahead.
it tripled in the past 2 weeks. XERI.
What? Yeah, I bought it at 41 cents. I bought it at
okay, gotcha.
40 cents. Bought it at 40 cents. I went to 49. No. I sold half. I made 25%. I sold half my position at 48 cents. So that's just the one I have. Yeah, that's it. So are you buying call options or buying this? You're buying the stock.
I'm buying the stocks. I don't do calls. I'm a grandpa. I'm so old. I'm so conservative. I no leverage, no margin, all long, all just stock.
All just stock. Okay.
I belong in Florida in the 5 p.m. early bird dinner. that's where my friends are.
Yeah.
Bingo class.
You get the early bird meals.
5 p.m. I'm there.
Yeah. So all right. So Fortinet. Okay, and then you said you have another one. But we'll wait on that. That'll be the tease. And if you didn't get a chance, go to Tom Nash's channel on YouTube, Tom Nash, and we did an interview on Sunday. My ugly mug is on his page. If you just go to videos, it was a long interview. There were some moments. You can go on YouTube. Here's the good news. You can watch it in like 1.5 speed. I already talk fast, so that 1.5 speed is probably 3.0 speed. So therefore, you'll get it done in 20 minutes. Think about it that way, okay? So
I think you did a great job because you gave them a lot of value as far as a lot of stock picks and a lot of if people want to get to know you, like behind the scenes, behind the the CEO. You gave a lot of value there.
Got it. Okay. I hope I did. I mean, I try to give my picks. I give my holdings, and I'm good.
And you exposed me. You exposed me.
How do you figure?
Larry. Everybody knows my name is Larry now.
Larry. He's no longer Tom. Tom's not his real name. His name is Larry.
Larry.
Call him Larry for now on. Another stock that's fucking sorry, Bill, I can swear it. Bill's not here. Is TerraSen. I bought it at $3, $2.80. It's at $12.80. It's another one that's great. Got some good stocks here. And then Tom, after you, we have another exciting guest who gave me a stock that I bought. I didn't have as much conviction in her, and I got a little scared at one point, and I sold some. It's down today 12%, but since she gave it to me, it's up 32%. BCRX, BCRX. And then the other stock she gave me is, and I have it, ATNX. Those are the two stocks she gave me, and that one's up 22%. Again, I didn't have as much conviction on it, so when I was trying to reduce the margin, I'd say I had 12,000 of it. I went down to like 4,000 of it, and so that's up 22%. But it is what it is. I can't complain. But she gave me two stocks, and they're both up a lot. So so she's coming on. She's the biotech queen. Vivian Mason works in that industry. So
BCRX somebody just put out an article yesterday saying that this is the most undervalued stock in the market.
Oh, she agrees with that. I promise you that she agrees with that. I bet you if she could right now, she would margin to 100% on that thing. So it's down 12% today. I'm gonna have to ask her why. I need to know if I need to
BCRX.
B is in boy. C is in.
No, I see it. Yeah, BioChrist Pharmaceuticals.
Yes, it's down 12% today.
Everybody's bullish on this. I'm looking at all the analysts.
Vivian,
Everybody's
why
bullish.
is it down 12% today? Oh, she's frozen. Vivian.
She's here.
She's not talking though. Oh, there she goes.
Can you hear me?
Hey, Vivian.
Yes,
we can hear you.
We can hear you.
Oh, I think there was an article about this on Wall Street Bets, and I think a lot of people just want to squeeze the shorts out of the stock. There's 90% of institutional ownership on that, so the float was, very small compared to what the short selling were. But at a $1.7 billion with a product already that's gonna pull estimated $500 million a year, it's still undervalued, believe it or not. And then we have the Factor D pipeline that there's a potential to be better than Exelon Factor D pipeline that got bought out for $36 billion 2 months ago. So, it's a great opportunity to add right now. Because there's a lot of people that just trade in and out of the stock. I'm holding. I haven't sold and I haven't traded. I wanted to trade and I want to buy 5,000 shares yesterday when I saw the whole hype. But at a pre-market, it was already so high that I'm like, I'm not chasing it, and I don't want it to average up. But I knew this was going to happen. It's just the day traders just flipping for pennies. I want a $40, $50, $60 buyout. So I'm holding long.
Okay.
This is the age of the Wall Street Bets, Jason. This literally went up after Wall Street Bets post.
Yeah, they call it bio war. So they call bio war. So they wanted to go after the hedge funds that.
So today it's getting hurt because they're not going after it today. Is that the idea?
Yeah, people just just sold off. But we have a UK approval in Europe approval this quarter coming, and we also have some data in our Factor D pipeline coming. So this is an opportunity to buy. My average is only $4, so I hate averaging up, but I did average.
Why did you give it to me at $8 then if yours was $4?
I added more to 8. I did. So my average came down a little, went up. So I added at $8 again, and then it went down to $7.50, right, Jason? And then you were gonna almost sell.
I did sell a little bit. I'll be honest. I was trying to be like conservative. Oh, I have too much margin, so I sold some, and it was dumb. And I sold some ATNX, and it was dumb. Anything I've sold has been, other than my AMC, other than that, anything I've sold has been dumb. But yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. All right, well, Tom, thank you for coming on and giving us FTNT. You guys, that's Tom's pick today, February 2nd, 2021. We'll see Tom in another few days.
Before I go, can I say something? First of all, I'm not really with you because I'm busy. I'm buying BCRX stocks as we speak. Vivian convinced me. I'm busy this moment. I'm just buying it as we speak at 10:33, and I just bought a couple thousand of it. So
I own 9,000 shares. If that makes you feel a little better.
No, I'm in. Let's ride the Russian Brazilian train all the way to the moon with the BCRX.
For sure.
All right, Tom.
Bye, guys.
Talk to her. Tom Nash is the man. Go follow him on YouTube, Twitter, everything. I am Tom Nash. That's who he is. And
Bye, Vivian. Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
And I call him Larry. All right, peace. Bye-bye. Oh, wait. Oh, I just kicked her out too. Kicked Tom and see, he did that right. Tom removed himself out. Look at Aaron. See, Brohan put his camera right on his head. He doesn't get it. He's okay. Hi. Okay, so what's up, girl? Are you on your Peloton right now?
No, I'm not, but I'm about to hop. I even bought a stand for my laptop so I can watch my charts. I mean, it's not 2 screens, but it works.
I got 3 screens here. So yeah, your BCRX and your AT. Okay, so we got a lot of people buying BCRX right now. Let's see if we got some movement on this thing. Tom just bought. This guy in the chat's buying it. If you bought BCRX right now, give me a 1. Hit me a 1. Let's see what we got going here. Let me go to a day chart. All right, we got a day. See some volume here. All right, not that much. A little bit. 1043. You guys buying BCRX right now? It's down 13%. So you think today is a buying opportunity for BCRX?
Absolutely, yes. I mean, you just do your cost average ad. I mean, if you believe in a stock, why not continue to add? I have no problem. And as soon as I get some profit, I'm just gonna add it more as well.
But we bought it at $7. We bought it at $7. How about at $7? Why should I buy today?
Because it's worth. It's completely still undervalued.
Was it overinflated? Was it overinflated because the Wall Street Bets guys got in it, or no?
No, it's not at all. It was always undervalued. I mean, think about it. It's still 1.7 billion, 1.7 billion market share as we speak. So it was, it's still completely undervalued, but it was being kept pushed down because of the short selling, So I still think that it's worth the 50 today for sure, especially now that we're going to get the UK approval.
All right, I think I may buy some right now. I think I may buy options though. I know you don't like options.
I love options. I'm a little uncertain with the biotech options. I don't buy as much, but I bought some options for G as in gold, THX, because they have a PDUFA coming up, and I really like the product. So I buy calls, but I like to buy calls when there's actually a catalyst coming. There's a UK catalyst, but I don't know how big of a catalyst that's going to push the stock. But if you do in the money, like for July, if you do $10 calls, it should be fine.
I'm doing June.
Yeah, June, $10 in the money. Yeah, I think
that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, I think you'd be fine.
I don't know if it's going to get executed because, but I need your help on something too. We just built an FDA calendar, and I want to make you the managing director of it, so you can make sure it's useful and all this stuff. Do you know what Slack is?
Slack, no, it's a website, right? That you can share.
No, it's not. No, I mean, I'm sure there's a Slack, something called Slack or Slacker, but what I'm saying to you is Slack is the way we communicate at our company. It's like an instant messenger, and they're building the FDA calendar right now. And maybe you could go in there and make sure it's good, give feedback, because I mean, I don't know, maybe the FDA thing becomes a real thing. It's not yet. I mean, they're working on it. It's not ready for prime time yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I can definitely.
I know you use Biopharm Catalyst, and you Google things and you look at calendars and all that stuff. By the way, guys, come on, give Vivian. She gave me BCRX, ATNX. They're both killer stocks. She's good. She may have another stock pick. Give her a dang like and follow her on Twitter. Erin Bry, put her Twitter in here right now. Okay, please. Okay. Erin, I assume Erin reached out to you today, correct?
Yes, he did.
Oh, you don't even know who that is. Okay.
I have actually another pick of a stock for you guys.
I know, but don't give it yet. Don't give it yet. They got to get you to 200 likes, or you can't give your stock pick yet. So hold on. Wait till we get to 200, then we can get a stock pick. Refined Warrior. Do you know Refined Warrior? Do you know Refined Warrior?
No, I know. What is that?
It's some person on this platform. Like she's listening to the show. She's just a listener. All right, Aaron gave your stock thing, but we're not at 200 likes, so we can't give her next stock pick. By the way, guys, 25%. Could you just buy these stocks and be there all day, every day? I mean, come on, like look at that. I mean, my account is up so much, and she's part of it. And I got in CLSK because of you, so it's not even just those two. So I mean, you've printed me money. You've literally printed me money. I mean, I got to send you a check. You got to give me your address. I got to get you a check. You deserve a check. So, yeah, she's Brazilian, but you don't speak Spanish, right?
I speak fluent Spanish. Sí, yo puedo hablar español. Sí.
Okay. Habla español poquito. Mi aprendo en la escuela 5 años, pero I should have studied more. I would. Yo me encanta aprender español, pero no one to speak it with, I guess,
Sí, podemos hablar, no hay problema. Sí, yo hablo español. Estoy hablando español como hace como 5 o 6 años. Sí.
Sí, so I talk very fast English.
Los latinos and los cubanos.
I talk very fast English. You talk very fast Spanish. At least it sounds that way to me. So that's that. But we when we go on the Peloton together, we can talk Spanish, and then by the end of this year, I could be good at Spanish. What do you think?
That's buena idea. Did you get a Peloton already?
No, I didn't. I ordered it because of you. Remember?
You're such a BS. When is it gonna come?
Such a what?
They have earnings.
Did you say I'm such a BSer? Is that what you said?
Because you said you're gonna hop on it right now.
Oh yeah, I am a BSer. That's true. Like this guy Ian Rosen, who was messaging me, he wanted to call me and tell me something, and I'm like, okay, Ian, just come on the show. You can tell me on the show. He's like, well, it's private. I'm like, come on. These days, nothing's private, right? Nothing's private. Everything's gonna be exposed. And these days, wherever we're at today, it's gonna get even way worse. Everything's
Peloton is doing earnings today. I should have bought my calls.
Peloton's earnings today?
I think so.
You sure?
I'm almost positive. If it's not today,
look at the Benzinga earnings calendar. Come on, is that Peloton earnings today, Randy? Randy? Of course, he's not at the news desk. I don't even know what to tell you. Okay. And people keep asking me about some stocks in the chat, and I'm going to answer you guys in a second. Okay. I know what you guys keep asking me about, and I've purposely not answered, but I'll answer. Okay. So just hold your horses. So what is wait, do we have 200 likes? Oh, we got 233. You can, we're at 200. So you can, all right. So you can go for it. Go for it.
Okay. So a company that I'm very bullish about it. And I'll tell you, it's a great opportunity to be able to buy it today. And even if you don't feel comfortable holding to PDUFA, which is March 2nd, that's going to be a nice run up to it because you have still a whole month to do it, and it's low float, so the float is small, so I can easily expect it to at least be a double what it is. So the name of the company is KM, K as in Callie, M as in Mary, P as in Paul, H as in Herod.
Say again, K what?
KMPH.
PH is in Peter?
Yes.
All right. Chemifar, okay. KMPH. This is at 620, 630. Why do you like it?
So it's I used to work for Novartis, and I used to sell a drug for ADHD, which is Focalin XR. And so
Focalin?
Focalin XR.
That's long acting?
It's just a stimulant for ADHD.
But what's XR mean? You said Focalin XR. What's XR mean?
Extended release, usually XR.
That's what I said, long acting. See, I knew my shit there, okay? Give me credit, guys. Give me credit. Give me the ones. I knew biotech there, okay, Brent? So suck it. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So I don't have the numbers in front of me, but here's what I'm excited. They partnered with another company called Coriat. I think I don't have my notes in front of me. I wasn't ready to give you this call, but they have a pro drug. So they made that drug to be more long lasting and with the less side effects. So this is the first first time after Vyvanse, which is a $4 billion company, that they're coming up with something that people are actually, these specialists are actually excited about it. So it's a Focalin, but on an improved version of it when you do in a prodrug. And they took all the executives from Shire and brought it over to the company that's going to promote this product. So my only concern is, sometimes I'm really concerned about how a big pharma can play a huge role with the FDA. So I am not holding through the whole thing through March 2nd. I probably take my initial investment out and let it ride. So that would be my only hesitation. But I think because the float is small, I think we can get a really we can really get huge gains until March 2nd, because it's less than 20 million shares per float, because they did an RS, but they're only at an 80 million market cap, not even that. So their potential, I mean, there's still so much.
Wait, it's only at it's only at an $80 million market cap.
Yes, because they did an RS.
I did not know that. Okay, guys, I bought the stock. I did not know it was a small cap like that. So be careful on the small cap like that. I thought I saw the $6, and I did not see. It's not OTC, is it? And so I figured it was a bigger market cap. I don't want to move like I don't want me buying and trying to move stocks out of people. So guys, I did buy it, but I didn't know it was only 80 market cap. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
okay.
It's small, but like I said, I am playing the run up to the FDA, and then I'll probably take my initial investment out, just because we're going after, the big leagues. Shire owns Vyvanse and is a $4 billion drug, yearly sales. I'm just a little wary when it comes to holding a small company like that through FDA. I usually don't like to hold through FDA, but I think it's a great opportunity to just ride the moment, because it's a smaller float. Does it make sense?
Yeah, but here's the problem.
Yes.
The chart. They don't like the chart.
Oh yeah, the charts doesn't look good right now. So you can add it and then continue to add it. I don't think we haven't started yet to accumulate for the PDUFA run up. So the chart does not look. I didn't even look at the charts right now. I would have just add a little and then continue to add. I usually don't look at the charts when I invest in long term. I just keep adding if it goes lower. So, but I think by February, maybe February 20th or even 15th, like 2 weeks before PDUFA, I think we're going to start seeing some steam when it comes to that stock. If that makes sense.
Got it. No, it does. I just didn't know it's small. So how do you find a small stock like that?
Like I said before, a lot of times you find the small stocks that have some potential through stock tweets. Like, let's assume I'm on a board of a BCRX, and people there like say, "Hey guys, you like BCRX? You should check a KMPH, or you should check TRVN." So that's how I find these little tickers. And sometimes at Twitter.
Do you go to Twitter?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter most of the time, but people on Twitter sometimes will message me, say, "Hey, Vivi, I have this really good biotech. What are your thoughts?" And I'll just do my own DD on it. So that's how I think I stumble upon KMP.
Do you think you're going to go back to working full time again?
That's a good question. I mean,
I always have good questions. Just kidding.
I don't know, because I have some stuff lined up for interviews, but it's not until start date May and July. And the more I make money now, the consistency that I make, I think the harder it's going to be for me to go back to work, because I made a company W-2 last year just in 1 month.
What'd you say?
My whole W-2s from last year in 1 month.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about, girl. I mean, you can do that, and I don't know, it's tough. But I do want you to see the FDA calendar thing that we're doing, because we're working on it, so yeah, that's it. Whoa, who's calling me? Oh, it's not my phone. Okay,
yeah,
good.
So full time for me, but I think it's gonna, I think that was my calling when I got laid off. It was, because I took day trading more seriously. So I have my long positions, but I'm also day and swing trading, so I can beat, Mr. Market. So I don't have all my money tied up in long.
How do you know it's Mr. Market versus Mrs. Market?
I don't know.
Okay, that's a good question. Now,
The value investor book calls him Mr. Market.
all right. So now there is a question in the chat. Danny Dan says, why is the stock down 98%? It's like down from 12 to 6.
Because they went through offerings and it's low float. When you have a low float stock, they're going to have a huge swings. If you have a float of a 70, 80, 100 million, the stock's not going to move as fast. But if you have a float of less than 20 million, the stock is you're going to have big swings, of course, because the float it's small.
Okay. And are you available tomorrow at, what time? Probably like 3 o'clock tomorrow Eastern to host the biotech show?
Yes, I'm available.
All right, 3 p.m. I don't know. I'll have to check with Mitch. I did 11 or 12 hours last Thursday. I'm going to name drop. I brought on Kevin O'Leary. I brought on Dave Portnoy, Barstool. We broke the story on Webull allowing trade with Apex. I had the CEO of Webull, the CEO of Voyager. We had like 5 other guests, and it was crazy. It was 6 other guests, and it was crazy. We went all day, and tomorrow we're doing the same thing. We're going all day. We start, I don't know, 9, and so we have some holes to fill, and we'll see how it goes. And we can work the name of the show, but the biotech, I just think it's easy to talk like this. We have to do separate conversations, and like I said, everything's out in the open anyway. So why is it, why can't we just talk like this? That's what I think. So all right,
because I want to be prepared. If I knew I was going to give you KMPH, I would have gone with my numbers and tell you exactly why I'm bullish. Obviously, I explain why, because of the product, but I also, they're revamping their sales force and everything else. Everyone is really, really positive that it's going to be approved because it's already a pro-drug of an approved drug that's been around for 20 years. So the chances of approval it's really high. We're not dealing here with the nasty side effects.
No, I got it. I didn't know it was an $80 million market cap. I won't personally, because I'm hosting this thing, I won't normally buy those stocks.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
When I'm live on the show, because I never want to people to think I'm ahead of them or anything like that. And if it's a big stock, it won't move. But on a small one, Benzinga, we have the stocks move, and I just never, you know what I mean? But it wasn't your fault. I'm just the fool that didn't look at you know what I looked at? The first thing I always look at when I look at a stock, the first thing I look at, you guys are probably going to laugh at me, but I'll tell you, it's a good thing. I look up at insider activity, which isn't always a thing to judge a company on. This one had a ton of insider activity. So 620, 820, a bunch of insider activity. So I'm like, okay, I'm buying immediately. So I bought immediately. That's how I do my stocks. Now, having said that, guys, Tesla, I bought many years ago. And if you look, it was all insider selling. So Kimball Musk, Elon's brother, selling the stock for years, whatever. And that's just part of his plan. And so I look at that. And that's this,
at the same time, if we talk about Jack looks at small cap companies that have a huge potential. So it's all about value investing. It's all about be able to buy something that at the bottom before the market cap is too high. I mean, look at his XERI. He said he'll continue to buy that up to 300 million cap. And right now is 60 or 70 million cap, so there's nothing wrong with doing value investing. It's sometimes you want to find these companies before they blow up.
Yep. So for the show tomorrow, what I would say is you go over a few stocks and then you have a Q&A thing, and people can ask you Q&A on biotech. And if there's someone else you want to bring on as a guest, we can. We'll handle all the technology. The graphics will be fine. It'll get better over time, but we're going to go all day. And I think 3 o'clock Eastern is, that's something different, Luke. Luke, that's different. So 3 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. Aaron Bry will be in touch with you to give you scheduling, but it's kind of going to be a little bit raw. By the way, BCRX reportedly is moving up. The sadness with that is I put call options in. They haven't executed yet. So I didn't get a move on that. Let's see what you got. Let's see if he's right. I typed in BRCX. That's my dyslexia speaking. Oh yeah, 1034. Okay. All right, I'll buy a little more of the stock. All right. I'll be a friend. I'll buy more. I'll buy a little more. What's the spread? Okay, I'll just do a market order. There we go. All right, I'm now in more BCRX. I know I sold someone that was mean to me. So that's it. So that's what I got. And then I have to go over these other stocks with these guys real quick. So I don't know.
Tomorrow at 3.
Yeah, or you may not see me, but you'll see someone. Okay.
Okay, cool.
All right. Talk to you later. Have fun.
See you guys tomorrow.
Yep. Peace out. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye, Jason.
Bye-bye. Okay, guys, real quick, I have some questions in the chat that I promised I would get to. The first question was on knock, as Dave Portnoy would say, knock. All right, we have volume 144 million shares, 318 million average volume. The volume is dissipated from what it has been. The stock has obviously risen. You guys know what has happening in GME. I did not like buying Noke for the short squeeze. I did not play with the Noke trade because sorry guys, I'm losing it. It's a widely held stock. It's a widely held stock, Nokia. So it's harder to get a short squeeze on it. I used to write the short squeeze column for thestreet.com. I know short squeezes. I do own AMC. I got you. Nokia could be a value play. I don't know what their product pipeline is. If we want, you can tell Aaron Bride to bring the CEO or CFO or head of product of Nokia on. I don't know what's in the product pipeline. So I'm not your best guy for Nokia, okay? I'm not. I'm just telling you it's widely held and it's harder to move on a short squeeze. It doesn't mean you have to get out today. I'm just telling you that I'm not in it. I am in AMC. I sold some of it at the high, but I didn't sell enough, that's for sure. Okay, now we have a couple other questions, I think. So let me go to this one. So a company called UWMC, I believe they had the CEO on. So UMWC is up 1.88%, and the earnings date is not on here. Let me open up Benzinga Pro. If you guys aren't a user of Benzinga Pro, you're truly missing out. You really are. But let me make sure we have it in here. I'm going to open it up. I'll share my screen real quick. API is what it opens up to, baby, all the time. Okay, okay, yeah, see? E-Trade does not have the earnings date for UMWC, but guess what does? Guess what does? I'll tell you, Benzinga Pro. So if you're an investor in UWMC, you would not know the earnings date because it's not on E-Trade. What screen am I sharing right now? Okay, it's right there. That's it. All right, UMWC. That's a stock. Earnings is after the close on Wednesday, so that's tomorrow. Conference calls the next morning. That's the one you guys asked about. Got you, Ruel. And you're still in it. I understand. So mortgage market, guys, it's been growing, right? I mean, there's a lot of refinances. They're a wholesaler. I would think they would have strong earnings. Yeah, I would think UWMC has strong earnings. Then the question you have to ask is the market is if the market's going to respond to it. Apple Computer had strong earnings. Well, the stock sold off. Mr. Market is a crazy thing, right, guys? So Mr. Market can do what it can, but you know what I mean? Like, so you have to be careful on what is going on in that regard. Is if it has strong earnings, does that automatically mean it's going to go up? I mean, wouldn't you like to make a bet if they beat earnings by 50%, then automatically, the stock will go up? It doesn't work like that. So you have to play with it. Jack Douglas, sorry, I deleted your message. Warren Buffett's last name was spelled wrong, and it's one of my things that we just have to get it right. Extra T on Buffett. So just add an extra T. He's a billionaire, needs an extra T. Voyager, Dan we own. So Benzinga Pro, but yeah, UWMC, I may play some call options on it. I may play some call options or some stock. That's one of the plays, there's catalyst. It's earnings. It's an earnings trade. Look at this way, guys. Look at probabilities. If the earnings are bad in UWMC, does it sell off 20%? I don't think so. So maybe the risk reward is good on UWMC. Okay, I hope I answered that question on that one. So the Benzinga Pro, Lou Pasternak. That's so funny. See, people need to seek to understand. Can I just read what Lou Pasternak said? Do Ameritrade victims know that Benzinga squawk is delayed 20 seconds, so the Benzinga price confront when 1,000 suckers in the room? Now you do. That is like the funniest thing I've actually ever seen. Okay, so Benzinga squawk is real time. We don't have the technology to delay it. Like, we looked at that and it would clearly say you're delayed. The Benzinga squawk, I believe, is turned off from 11:30 to 1 p.m. in the Thinkorswim chat room. As a Thinkorswim user, you get that squawk for free, which is, and it's a premium service in Benzinga Pro, so we turned it off from 11:30 to 1. But I don't even know how you'd front run. It's news. I mean, you want to get the most real-time news. So, Lewis, if you think that's the case, then you should join Benzinga Pro, like be a member of Benzinga Pro. But no, if there's an audio delay, then that may be a today thing, but there's not. It's usually the exact same time. But arguably, you got to think about it this way. We produce news, or like to say like the Washington Post produces news, and you're in the Washington Post website, you're going to maybe see it first. But we produce audio. It gets sent from our servers to their servers. So maybe there's like a 2-second delay, but no, there's no set thing of a 30-second delay. The only thing there is 11:30 to 1, it's off. That's why I was like laughing at the guy's comments, this guy Lewis, because he's not seeking to understand. He's just making an accusation. This room is about kindness. We seek to understand. We don't make accusations. He also said that Charles is bad. Like, that's just not nice. I mean, you seek to understand and you give feedback and you say how one person can get better. I mean, we're not going to all be perfect. If there's a problem with technology today, I'll look into it. We make mistakes on news from time to time, for sure. The people that are quality give you the feedback. We're all going to err. To err is human, you know, so to err is human. What you look for is feedback from nice and kind people, not people that rip people down. I mean, that what Lewis is saying is just so hurtful to people. I mean, it's not sticks and stones. I know those can break your bones, but it's not that. It's just different when you just make a character, you know, assassination. Oh, God, I just wouldn't want to live that way. So anyway, Val, you said Val's about to break out. VALE, it's down 23 cents, down 1.34%. You know, so yeah, exactly, Batman. It's so easy to hate. Like, me being the founder of this company is like, people probably want to hate on me. I don't care. I just say what I think, and I wish people would say what they think to me, and some do. Aaron Bry does. He says what he thinks. We butt heads a lot, but I'm butting heads with him because I want to make him better. And yeah, everyone has something unique in life. So there you go. Go public. Jack, I know we need to raise some money and go public. You're right. Okay, guys. Thank you, Ethan. That is, I'm happy you told me that. I appreciate it. The radical candor is, Val is not moving on my chart. I don't know what you're seeing, but that's that. There's the Benzinga Pro chat room here, guys. You want to see it? It's not going to go that way. Unusual optioned activity. That's a pro upgrade if you want optioned activity through Benzinga Pro. Here you go. Here are the sweeps. Here's the signals. All this stuff. Oh, we have this store, guys. Swag.benzinga.com. Swag.benzinga.com. Go check it out. I've been buying stuff from it. There's some cool stuff. Yeah, Mahi. Shadow Trevor may be slightly delayed too. It's not like the guy Louis Pasternak said that front running. If I wanted to front run stocks, couldn't I just go on the show and say you need to buy this stock, and not tell what stock I own? No one knows what stock I own, but I would never do that. If you want to make money and cheat the market, there's a million ways to do that, guys. A million. The way that we're going to do it is go on do the squawks early. That's just the dumbest thing I've honestly ever heard. And I'll tell you one more thing. I was on the air for Express Spa, but I'm sure Mitch removed it. Is the Express Spa here? Mitch is don't hang up yet, guys. What's this called? What is this platform I'm using? Okay. All right. So, you guys, I was on the air for Express Spa, and I said, I bought this crazy stock yesterday. It's a small stock, so it's risky. Just like I told you guys, a stock I just bought, whatever, I didn't know it was 80 million market cap. I warned people on that. So, front run picks, I do the opposite. I wait for people to buy them, then I go after. When we knew Webull was open for trade on those stocks, I knew those stocks would shoot up. We made sure to put it out in the news. I bought those stocks like 20 minutes later, 10 minutes, 20 minutes later. But I gave a pick, Express Spa. While I was talking on air, it went up 120%. I got a LinkedIn message, and I'll show it to you guys, or I'll show it to you tomorrow. The LinkedIn message literally said, Jason, have some class or have some integrity. You're obviously insider traded it. Well, I like took that as the biggest compliment ever, by the way, because I took that as the biggest compliment ever, because if I'm getting accused of insider trading, then I'm doing something right on a stock pick. I had no information on Express Spot other than I knew they hired a medical officer and there was a press release for it. So it was like someone who lifts weights gets accused of taking steroids. Same kind of thing is exactly what that was. And they had a press release while I was talking. If I had any inside info, would I ever say it? There's certain stocks I do get info about. There's a stock, a small stock that a lot of you guys like. I got info about it last week because we were issuing. We were going to like cover the interview for the CEO, like the Wall Street Journal does. You know, when I have that info, I can't tell anyone. I can't tell Luke here. I can't tell anyone. I don't trade it. I don't talk about it. If I get asked about it, I don't answer. I say nothing. And like the Wall Street Journal, they have stuff ahead of time. Of course they do. They work on stories, but I would never say something. Life's too short, and I don't want to be. I want whatever I do. Here's the way I look at it. Whatever I do, I want to be comfortable if it's on the front page of the Wall Street Journal. That's it. That's how I look at things. That's it. I use the Wall Street Journal test. So as that guy Matt J said that he just passed gas, I guess that's legal, so it's okay. Yeah, that's right. XII Joel got off the show when that happened. It was hilarious. He claimed it was because something else. Hey, why is this stock taking off? Why is this stock taking off, guys? Can you guys help me on this one? CRBP or something? It's one of the movers on Pro. You guys know what's going on here? Let me go to Pro. Maybe the market cap's low. Let me see the market cap. Hold on. 120 million. Don't worry about it. Let's just get out. I'm not going to go with that one. Adam Fierstein hates this stock. That's an indicator because Adam Fierstein's very smart. We almost hired him a while ago. Okay. Something that I use a lot, guys. I mean, Lewis Passion may call it front running, but this is I use this. I look at screeners that are moving, stocks that are active, stocks that are moving high, like this kind of thing. I use these screeners. I use movers. That's what I use, not screener. Movers. I want to see movers that are popping. So I want to see all the stocks that are up the most today. And I want to either trade them down. Here we go. Plant Therapeutics, Qual Acquisition, Nano, car parts. Look at that. So $17. Nano, Buzz Time, Outlook Therapeutics. This is all in Benzinga Pro, guys. All of this is in Benzinga Pro. pro.benzinga.com. And you got pre-market and you got after hours. It's a very solid machine, this thing. It's built this over the last 3 years. You can sort by market cap. So if you don't want any of these small ones, you go 300 million or more. I don't know why the heck this says it's up 183%. Is that right, guys? You can't do gainers. You got to like do it all like that. But this Casanova Sciences, Sava, yeah, up 100. Yeah, look at this. Let's go. See, then you can go look at the news. Historical day. Alzheimer's is yeah. See, here's the news, guys. That's Benzinga Pro. Why don't people like the video for the Kern shout out? What Kern shout out? Did I miss something? Akerna? Yesterday, we had the CEO of Akerna on. Yes, she's right. He's right. Jessica Billingsley. It's up 11% today. Did you guys buy it yesterday? Hope you did. I don't know. All right. I still own my AMC. I'm hanging on to the rest of my AMC. I don't know. If it goes down tomorrow, then maybe I'll get nervous. But you're right. Thanks, Matt, for the Akerna CEO. We had Jessica Billingsley. All those red marks are our real-time hot mover news items. That's what those are. So Louis Pasternik's here. You could see that. I love when people accuse you of stuff, guys. Let's just play the game. Let's make a Google Doc of all the accusations that anyone's ever been accused of for anything. Okay, let's just make a doc for that. It'd be pretty funny. Like the ones that are like blatantly false. It'd be fun. What do you like about the SPAC? Well, it's not a SPAC. UWMC is not a SPAC anymore. That's a stock. It converted. So I think it could have strong earnings. Wholesale mortgage market. All right, I gotta head off. I gotta head off the show. Thank you for your support. If you think the show is decent at all today, please hit the like. Please share with your friends. Please subscribe. We want to do more of this, but it has to make sense for a business to do it, to give this away for free and all this stuff. So please support. Please join pro.benzinga.com. Please subscribe to the channel. It says 58,600 subscribers. I would love to see 60,000 by the end of the week. Yeah, there's a 2% dividend. So on UMWC. And I believe the CEO was the CEO. I know the CEO was on our show. All right. Thanks, Benzinga. Yeah, follow Benzinga on Twitter. And you can follow me. I'm Jason Raznick, or Luke Jacobi on Twitter as well. Twitter.com/Jason Raznick. You can see spelling my name on the video screen, or maybe it doesn't show because it doesn't show. 111. And tomorrow, as Luke already alluded to, we're going to start, I think, around 8 a.m. and we're going to 6 p.m. tomorrow. So 10 hours. Keep us on in your background. You don't have to always be in here. Patrick, thank you. I hope you're doing well in that poker tournament. Patrick's in a poker tournament right now. He could win $1.2 million. Hopefully he does, and then he can invest $200,000 in Benzinga. There you go, Patrick. Will you invest $200,000 if you win that poker tournament, Patrick? Thank you, Dan. Thanks for the kindness. This place is about kindness and learning. And get your merch. Caesar said get your merch. Caesar's building the merch store. He's working hard. We don't also agree on everything, but he's working hard to try to make something there, so he's working hard to make it happen. Please support Caesar, and I'll support you guys back I'll bring on more CEO guests. I mean, you guys, a current CEO was on yesterday. It's up 10% today. 10%. That's not a small number. It's a lot of money. Imagine you put $100,000 into it, you have 10,000. Imagine you put $1 million in it, you have 100,000. Look at that. I mean, easy numbers. Easy squeezy, lemon easy. That's what my daughter says. I don't know how that made any sense, but she does say that. All right. Take care, guys. Peace out. Cut it. Or I guess I got to cut it.